blessing. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Boxes, boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, stop it. Quitting was never an option. Exhausted, exhausted. This passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it. Nah, you cannot stop it.
Yeah, buddy, how you doing? We're doing this morning brew at night. Oh my God, what up, Betty? What up, my guy?
What is going on, Jigga? Getting ready, hoping we're gonna get some trades going on because nothing seems to be going on right now.
Shit.
Yeah,
I literally had a title at the lack thereof moves, right? It feels like there's just nothing, just pure speculation still. I mean, look, last hour I've seen that the Pelicans are the sleeper team now for Murray. I mean, we spent all morning talking about how badly Knicks fans want Murray, and now Pelicans, the sleeper. How about Utah Jazz in on Brown?
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, right? Like, that's the one that was mind-boggling to me, bro.
They just traded Fonteneco or whatever the heck his name is. They just traded him. I thought he was a good player. I mean, he could hit a three. You know, he looks like he has some potential. But you trade that guy away, and now you're in on Bruce Brown. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, not a team I expected to be making any moves. Before we get into it, I want to shout out everybody in the building. We got 109 so far here rocking with us. Guys, if you can, smack the like, hit the subscribe. So for those of you that are tuning in for the first time today, we are running a full-blown 10-hour stream tomorrow. We've got all kinds of special guests for the trade deadline. Plus, we got Yankees content to kick off the morning. We've got Jake from the Bronx Zoo and Frank Luna with some giveaways. Then we got Khalif Adams. We've got Sky Zoo. We got Sean from the Knicks Wall. We've got Brett Siegel coming through. Just a lot planned tomorrow. But guys, long story short, don't want to do the sales pitch. We're trying to raise some money to get the boys out to NYC the end of this month for 2 major events. And we were given the opportunity to go out to Yankees spring training to cover the Yankees, be at multiple games, get some interviews. But it only happens if you guys can support and help us. So the link is in the chat. Buy us a coffee, donate, all that good stuff. Hit the little scanny here in the bottom. If you haven't yet, smack that like. We are going full-blown open panel tonight, Eddie. I'm dropping the link. If you guys in the chat have something to talk about, come on up. We want to hear your thoughts on everything because all I can tell you is I'm so busy, Eddie, focusing on trade deadline, making all these graphics, but then I got to sit here and shit myself because then we
lagging. You're in the Matrix.
Can we talk about Bone Spurs? Let me get out of here. Hold on. Still Matrix?
A little laggy,
Ooh, why are we getting the lag? All right, tell me when we're back to normal.
You're still fuzzy. You're fuzzed up.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about OG Anunoby with the injury, bro. What are you thinking on that with the bone spur?
I don't like it. That's for sure. I mean, I read a couple of things on it that, it's possible they might need surgery. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that serious, but still, it's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good thing. I hope with time, he's going to have after the 14th, the Knicks don't play a game for 8 days. So hopefully between now and then, it gives him about 2 weeks to come back. Sorry, to 15 days. So I'm hoping in the next 15 days, maybe some of the inflammation could go down, things like that, and OG could get back. Because this team is razor thin right now. We are razor thin, especially with our bench. We're razor thin. We have, nothing going on. I mean, we had Taj Gibson, Miles McBride, and who was the last guy? I don't even know. Malachi Flynn on our bench last night. So that's pretty bad. Dude, you're completely frozen. By the way, you're completely frozen. So we'll see, man. We'll see what's going to happen with this whole thing. I don't know. Let me see. I think Jigga's internet went out. So listen, we'll hold it down. B's in the house. What up, B? Woo's in the house. Woo hates me. All right, all good, Woo. It's all good. I know you're not the biggest fan, but listen, tonight's all about the trades. All right, tonight's all about the trades, the trade deadline. I don't know what they're doing. I honestly don't know what they're doing. Shout out David Rios. I see you in the chat. I know you want to talk Mets. Bro, we're less than 24 hours to the trade deadline. I'm not talking Mets right now. I'm sorry. I'm not talking any Mets. We're talking Knicks, and we're going to stick to Knicks. I don't know what they're going to do, but Dejounte Murray's getting traded between now and tomorrow's deadline. I would think. I hope the Knicks are in on him. Listen, again, my first guy, I'm going to give you the same pitch I give all you guys in the spaces. If it was up to me, my first pick would be DeRozan. I think DeRozan's a guy that comes in. He's an automatic bucket. Oh, we got him.
Holy shit, bro. Am I back?
We're back.
Listen, I even chose a different freaking McDonald's for tonight, all right? Like, what's going on with this shitty-ass Wi-Fi, man? All right, I'm back. Where were we, bro?
Well, I was just going into, the trade deadline and my three top guys. Everybody in here that's in the chat, a lot of guys from Twitter, they know who my first choice is. They know I want DeRozan.
Is it someone that you've been banging the drum since last season?
Well, that was Kuzma last season.
Okay, I know it was Kuzma again.
It was Kuzma last season, but once we got OG, it was kind of, I had to cut out the Kuzma talk. So, it's OG's number one. Number two is Dejounte. And number three is my boy Malcolm Brogdon, man. So that's the way I'm going. Jig is going out again, so I'll handle it down. But look, I listen. The Bulls are saying they don't want to trade anybody. The Bulls are saying they don't want to trade anybody. Somebody wrote on Twitter today, they're so bad they're so good at being a bad team, the Bulls. It's so true. I mean, they're just this team that's, they're on the outside of the play-in every single year, and like they never get anything done. Once ball went down for them, they're done. What are they gonna do? They better do what they got to do and get trade who they got to get. They're going nowhere. So again, DeRozan, if Jig is back, he's a little shaky, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Rock says
another spot in the house. Let's see. I'll move anywhere in the house. Let's find a better spot. Is that better?
You're loud and clear right now.
All right. We'll just keep moving to where the internet is. Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Everybody's down on the Bulls, man. Like they're saying that they want to stay in this. Like, who are they kidding? They've been bad now for like 3 years. The first year they were good when they had ball. It worked out, right? Him and DeRozan were playing. DeRozan was an all-star. Levine was an all-star. Levine's out. I mean, they have probably one of the hottest commodity right now in Andre Drummond, because the 76ers are looking to get Andre Drummond to fill in for Embiid. And that's the talk from them. They might be able to get a first-round pick for Drummond if they play their cards right with Philadelphia. Plus,
that's the other thing, dude. You see all the prices? Like, it seems like the asking prices for like the shittiest of shit. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, I never understand the market. And I feel that way with so many sports. You know what I mean? Like baseball. Look at freaking Shohei Ohtani. Like, I never saw something like that happening, right? And then all of a sudden you see these, they want 5 first rounders. I'm like, what do you mean? Why would you give that much up? Like, what were they talking about earlier? Brown, right? We didn't want to give up the first that they wanted.
Listen, it seems like the market has reset a little bit, right? Ari, my guy, Eddie the GOAT. Ari, get up here.
You know what? Let me do a roll call, bro.
Yeah,
we're ready. The internet issues, we're making it all shitty. Ari is in the building. What it do, Ari? We got Devin Rios in the building. Udel Yosef is in the building. Rocks, New York Knick hot takes. Asro music to my ears about Bridges. Hector Cabrera, how are you doing? With the Jets PFP, how you doing?
Nice.
Where do you think we're standing now with the trade deadline? Bro, that is the question of the night, Hector. It's the lack thereof trade deadline, bro. Like, nothing's
better fucking
going
get somebody, Jigga. They better bring somebody onto this team, or I'm going to go fucking nuts.
Spree, the Knicks is here to watch you go effing nuts. John GFA is in the building.
That's
Chris
true.
Frawley. I love whenever I see Frawley in there. Mano, what up, B? How's it going? Michael Caputo's in the building. Chris Van Ginkel.
That's my cap guy.
That's what?
That's my cap guy. That's Chris Cap guy. He's one of the.
Hey, what up,
He's
Chris?
a very knowledgeable guy. Shout out to my guy Chris. We had a space the other night. We were talking all about the cap and everything.
Chris, feel free to hit that open panel link and jump up. Everybody, the open panel link is for everybody. It's a safe place. You come up here, no one's going to yell at you. We wait till you get off screen for Eddie to curse you out, all right? Who else we got in the building? As Roma Sunday night on a Wednesday night. How you doing? Woo is in the building.
Woo, get up here.
Get up here. Yeah. Get up here. John
He's 100% right on that list. Who's that list he had? I think he had a bunch of white players on the list. Shout out to you. Who knows me? Stockton, Paxton, Bird, McHale. Chad is Eddie's all-time. Oh, don't forget about Dirk. All right, don't forget about Dirk. He's one of the great Germans. Who else we got?
You and the freaking whites. You're ridiculous.
Everybody likes my, shout out to the whites.
Hey, Dream is in the building. What it do, Dream? That's our guy right there. Hector is on his way to the show. He's going to be up here in a little bit. Phil's going to put the kids down to bed. He's coming up here too. You know what? New York Knicks philosophy. What up? What up? What up? Buyout market era of Knicks Twitter starts 3:01 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Give me Lowry. Give me Gordon Hayward. Give them to me. Give them both. If we can't get nothing done, I want Gordon Hayward and I want Lowry. I want both of them. I'll take.
So you want the double whammy?
Oh yeah, because if Hayward is healthy, Tibbs loves him. Tibbs called Gordon Hayward the closest thing to Jimmy Butler or some shit like that. So listen, again, if Hayward's healthy, he's a bucket. And he's a free bucket, Jigga. He's free. Again, buyout market.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cheaper route, the smarter route.
I mean, you and I, Murray or DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, and you and I spoke about it on the show on Monday, right? When it came to Lowry, I mean, I'm not beating the drum and dying to have him, but a buyout candidate doesn't really cost you anything. We know what he looked like in the playoffs last season. That's a benefit for us when he was locking us down, right? You can't sell me on the Hayward situation, though, Eddie. You can't sell me on that one. I'm going to let you try.
Again, but you got to look at it like he's free, right? If he's free and he's somewhat healthy, he's a guy that could score. And we need guys off the bench, Jigga. We need guys off the bench. This bench is fucking thin, man. We're razor thin. I mean, come on, man. Who do we have on the bench the other night? It was a joke. We had Taj getting minutes. Come on, man. I'll take Gordon Hayward anytime. And if he sucks, we just cut him. Who cares? That's the way I look at it. They suck.
I mean, that's the benefit, though, of going with the buyout route.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, you let it go, right?
Yeah, you just cut him. They're like a piece of paper. If it doesn't work out, goodbye. Take care.
Shaw Powers is in the building. What it do, my guy? Tarnell Nettingham. Why are buying hoopties when we got money for a Benz? Ooh, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that.
Yo, by the way, if anybody can buy us a coffee, please buy us a coffee. Jigga's, we're a broken network. All right, we have no funds whatsoever. I got to go to spring training and drive all the way to Tampa for these guys. I'm not getting gas money or anything. They're like, Eddie, you're on your own. So that's it. I'm going to have to bring my wife, kid, and the dogs and pay for our hotels. So that's the way this company's
spring training's going to be dope, though. And if we pull off this New York trip, it's going to be.
I hate the Yankees.
Yeah, but you get to hang out with us. I'm
going to ask them some crazy, stuff.
Everybody, again, in the chat, the open panel link is there. Feel free to come up. I see people already starting to check in backstage. We'll bring you guys up here as you come in.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. If you're on Twitter and all that, just come up. Who cares? We don't care. I want to hear your opinions. We just like this space. Yeah.
I'll buy you a beer if you go to the Knicks game tomorrow. Well, Roma, we're trying to raise money to get out to the event at the end of the month. Can't wait to share all those details with everybody tomorrow. That's going to be dope. Chris, Cap Guy, we're waiting for you to get up here, bro.
Yeah, Chris. This is good.
That. I see we got our boy G Money.
Yo, what's shaking and baking? What's shaking and baking?
Money?
What's going on? What's going on? Nice to see you again, Jigga, excuse me. Eddie, what's cracking, slacking?
What's up, bro?
Yo.
Man, bro. So how we feeling, G Money? Talk to me.
Man, if I'm the Knickerbockers, break the bank and try to get there's multiple players I would love for this team. Clarkson, Murray, Brogdon, Jalen Green.
Is that your order?
That's not in order. Those are players I think would revamp the roster, in my opinion.
All right, your top guys. Give me your top 4 or 5 guys. Who do you got?
Dejounte Murray 1. Murray 1. Clarkson 2.
Okay.
Brogdon 3. And number 4, Jalen Green.
Okay. I don't think we're going to get Jalen Green. I mean, I think he's going to cost a lot to get. I think they're just, he's on a rookie contract. You think they'd really trade him? And then you think Tibbs would play him? Like that would be like my thing. We traded for this young guy.
Well, my other question though is Clarkson. Like, am I crazy for not being in on Clarkson? Like, I just don't feel like he's the point getter we need. Like, I just don't see where he fits with us. G Money. What has you leaning towards Clarkson?
He could be an IQ type of player. I understand he's a little bit light sign, light soft. I understand he's a little bit in the shadows offensively this year. He's still a guy that can still get you. I'm not saying it's the young Sprite Clarkson. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he is the IQ replacement, you want to call it though, because he could create his own shot though. He is a better shot creator than IQ. No disrespect to Quigley though.
His field goal percentage is garbage.
Which it has been.
Yeah. He makes 6.2 field goals for every 15 shots he puts up.
Here's the one we see nonstop, Eddie. Call the Nets and bring over the Infinity Stone. Bring over the Nova Knicks.
Thank you.
I would love Mikal Bridges. I would love him.
Too.
And I will give up picks. I said it the other day. And as a matter of fact, I still have it here in front of me.
Oh.
I will give up Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes. There we go. The money works. I'll give him the 24 Dallas because they don't have a pick this year. 25 Milwaukee because they don't have a pick next year. And then 2026 New York Knicks unprotected. 2028 New York Knicks unprotected.
Well, I think the Nets will take that.
4 picks, Mitch and Grimes. If they don't take that, they don't deserve it. Then they don't deserve it. That's a good deal. It's fair. I think.
That's good. I agree. I agree. And you could trade Fournier and maybe some picks also for Dejounte Murray too. Who knows?
Well,
imagine that happens in real life. Bridges and Murray in the same team. Oh boy, it'll be a powerhouse.
Let me see with this comment here. Eric Frederickson in the chat. Appreciate you. Saw somebody earlier say they don't want Burks, but second team is not good now with all the injuries. Knicks need all the help they can get, particularly 3-point shooters, and he would be cheap. 2 second rounders. Well, look at that, Eric. Nice little segue, because that's what, I mean, let's be real. If you've been paying attention, especially to Begley the last 2-3 weeks, it's consistently been talking about Burks. Now you got Woj on NBA Today saying the Knicks have been an active team. They want to improve their bench scoring at the deadline. Signs are pointing to Burks.
Listen, the price is right on Burks. All right. It's a very, very simple trade. You send the Obi Toppin exception and 2 second rounders, and we bring back Burks. I know. Listen, I'm with all you guys. He's not the man. He's not going to come in here and be some game changer, but he could give you good minutes. I know he's another guy that doesn't shoot the best from the field, but he does hit his threes. And I will take a nice 3-and-D player off the bench if it's only going to cost you 2 second-round picks. Sign me up.
Right.
Jigga, we need a freaking needle mover. You see, and I agree with you, right? And I think that's where you're looking at the price of what things are going for, which makes it, okay, this level of people ain't worth looking at. And that's why every episode, Eddie, I keep saying, I don't know what that needle mover is. I don't get super excited about most of the names that we're talking about. Like, I'll be honest, the Alex Burks thing doesn't bother me. We're talking about someone to help with that second unit and give us points. He matches the criteria. You know Tibbs will play him. He knows the Garden. He knows New York mentality. It makes sense for a Burks. And then to be able to sit here, and I saw somebody in the chat say it earlier, they said, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but right here, Chris, say this, but I have complete faith in the front office to do what needs to be done.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Before we, give credit, because look, my thing is this. We got a good team this year. We got a very, very good team. And I truly believe we got a chance to get to the finals, at least the Eastern Conference Finals. I think we are one big move away from getting to the finals and maybe competing for a title. I think we're that close.
I agree. We're knocking at the door.
We can't piss these years away. If Brunson comes back healthy, which he is, if OJ comes back healthy, which we hope, and if Randle comes back healthy, we are in a position to do something special. We add one more player to this unit. We add a true bucket getter. And by a true bucket getter, I mean an all-star like DeRozan or a former all-star like Dejounte Murray. You add one or two of those guys to this team, we're going to make some fucking noise. We're going to make some noise. We're going to knock at that door. We're going to knock, and we're going to knock at the competition. We got a real chance to win a fucking title, boys. I mean that. If we got Mikal Bridges, I think we could win the title.
Oh, facts.
Good and will. I don't think this chat. Yeah, I don't think the chat would even argue with you when it comes to that. I do love what Sha Powers, our guy. What up, Sha says? I went from Murray to Malcolm to Burks to Clarkson to Sexton back to Murray. Like that's literally been everybody's the last month, right?
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
All right, let's look at some of the questions in here. Actually, before I do that, G Money, give us your thoughts when it comes to Burks, bro. Since that's the topic at hand.
He doesn't seem too happy.
He froze and everything. His computer said you are not.
At the same time,
you froze up.
At the same time, here's the thing that kills me with Burks, though. The dude's kind of a playoff choke artist. The dude's just 39% in the playoffs in his career, though. I don't trust Burks in the playoffs, though, and he's kind of a chuck. I don't trust Burks in the playoffs. I'm not. And look, I know he can light up the fuse. At the same time, he's kind of a chuck, and he's not a great defender. I don't think Burks moves the needle for me, though.
Yeah, I mean, how many playoff series has he even been in? You know, like
let's see. He's with the playoffs with the Jazz. He's been with the playoffs with the Jazz. With the Knicks, I mean, 2021 with the Knicks, only 2020 against the Hawks. 39% from the field. 39% from the field. That's not okay. That's booty.
1A for MVP said Burks or Brown may be more realistic. Not what I wanted, but we can't just force trades. We need help. Agreed. I mean, it goes back to what were we talking about? What, 3 weeks ago, Eddie? Right? Where, we were making jokes about the fact that some people were like, I'm crazy when they were messaging me on Twitter because I said, don't be surprised if we stand pat. If there's any move, the only move that if you're not going and doing a Murray move, which again, I've been saying it for weeks, I don't care if we do a Murray move. But if you're going to make a move and you're telling me it's going to be a Burks to come help the bench, which we know needs the help, I don't want to move guys that takes DDV out of the starting lineup. I said it this morning and I'll say it again. I don't want to move that makes DDV go to the bench. I'm sorry. Look, I'm happy with our shooting guard.
Look, if you bring in another talent and you bring in a talent like Dejounte Murray, you could move DDV to the bench and he could be just as productive. Or you could even ask Dejounte to come off the bench. It really doesn't matter. At the 6-minute mark, they're going to make the changes anyway after the first quarter. Again, Dejounte Murray, for me, he's got such a favorable contract over the next 4 years. You get him. You're not going over that second apron with him. You're not. And you could build around that. The same goes with Mikal Bridges. Same goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you bring in, any of these other guys that we've talked about, Cat, Spider, good luck because we're going to be stuck over that in second, in salary cap hell. Just throwing that out there.
True.
All right. So, G-Money, I'm going to let you go, bro, but feel free to jump back up on the open panel. We're going to do one at a time for now, but then we're going to open it up for everybody. Appreciate you, G-Money.
Thank you. And Eddie, I have sent my number in the private chat, Eddie, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, appreciate it, bro.
Later, G-Money. All right, first caller. Will a trade happen? I see we got more people backstage. Yo, Rocks, NYK Hot Takes. If you can, just turn on your camera. Give me a thumbs up so I know you're an actual person and not one of those bots that we're going to fall for that comes on. They're like, oh, screw you. $1.99. David Rios helping the boys get to New York City this month. Burks and Isaiah Stewart or Burks and Ivy?
We might be flying Frontier, Jigga, but it's still better than that. We might be flying Frontier, but hey, it might get us to the city. That's all that matters.
You know what? So here, I'll have fun with it. Everybody in the chat, you see the link for the Buy My Coffee. If you do a $10 Buy My Coffee, I think that's getting us 2 coffees. The first 10 people that do a $10 Buy My Coffee, we'll do a duck race while we're on stream. And let's give away a Morning Brew, Knicks Morning Brew mug on me. We'll send it out.
We get $50. I'm giving this away.
All right, let's go. That's it. All you got to do is hit the Buy My Coffee link, drop us a little thing, support us, help us fundraise. Rocks, NYK Hot Takes, you back there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, fellas?
Yo,
Not
Rock,
much, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Eddie? We were talking to DeRozan a couple nights ago. How you feeling?
Man, I'm still feeling DeRozan. I don't think the Bulls are feeling it, but I'm feeling it.
Yeah, the Bulls think they still got Jordan and Scotty coming through
Yeah,
their
I
tunnel.
think they think Jordan, Scotty,
Yeah.
and Julius are kind of
No,
walking.
it's funny. I was on a Bulls podcast, and you got to hear these guys. Like they still got hope. They're posting pictures of LeBron with a Bulls jersey. But anyway,
LeBron.
yeah, it's crazy, right? So, but back to the Knicks. So here's the thing with Dejounte. One thing that I love about him, and hypothetically, if we go after him and we somehow get him, look, you know, my guy's Mikal Bridges, but I know Brooklyn's not going to give him to us for free. And if Dejounte is the guy, the one thing I like about him, man, is that he has that dog in him, man. You know what I mean? Like he has that swag, he has that little attitude. And if you look at our Knicks roster, what are we missing? And the other thing is too. Let's say hypothetically we add him. Is he the final piece? Do we start tinkering after that? If you look at the Celtics, look how many times they had to tinker to get it right. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
Jigga, you want to go take this first?
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I would say I think that Dejounte would be the first move, and I think after Dejounte, you have one more move after that. So I think we'd be the Dejounte, and then maybe another move because you still have some picks to mess with, and you could potentially still trade Dejounte in a trade for a superstar over the summer. We've been saying this, the whole time. This is nothing new. I'm telling you.
But that's why I was saying for you to go first, Eddie, because I still believe this is all hypothetical, right? That's why we're here on the trade deadline the night before, just waiting for shit to happen. But my hot takes is I can see a world if they did the Murray thing, it's because they're also planning on the offseason because they know that he's not that final piece. Like we have to believe that in their mind, their vision is the Villanova Knicks, right? They've got the defense out they got with OG. By far, with every trade that's happened so far, I'm sorry, that's been the best trade so far this season. And I don't see something happening at the deadline that's going to be better than the OG trade, right? So I don't think that if we did the Murray, that's the end of it. You still end up doing more and him not being the long-term answer. I don't think.
I mean, again, you make the move for Murray. You see how it works. Well, a lot of people say, oh, well, we make the Murray trade to take the ball out of Brunson's hand. I disagree with that. I want the ball in Brunson's hands because I know what he could do. So for me, I think Dejounte, again, will be playing more off ball, but you get a two-way player with Dejounte, a guy that could score a bucket in the paint, he could shoot the three, and he plays some D. So with Murray and his contract and his cost, it's a nice little trade for me, at least. For me, it definitely moves the needle.
I agree. I agree with you guys. The only thing, like even with the on-ball, off-ball with Brunson, I think they could play off each other. People always mention this whole Trae Young thing. And Trae Young's game is totally different than Brunson. Brunson is moving all around on the court. He's moving around screens. He's passing the ball. I could see them playing better off each other. And look, we all need a big wing. Because in my mind, like you said, Eddie, we're thinking Eastern Conference Finals. And if we get to play the Celtics, who's going to guard Tatum? Who's going to guard Brown? Who's going to give us a fighting chance?
OG's going to guard Tatum.
Yeah. No, but we need another guy too, right? So, and then in the playoffs too, foul trouble and ticky-tack fouls and things like that. If we could add more big wings and somehow say if we get Murray, but another guy too to think about is Griffin, right? He's another good guy, another big body that we could throw on this roster. I just need 8 guys that I could put into a playoff rotation and hope. This is assuming we get all our guys back, right? And, look, I'm willing to go to war even as is. You add those guys in there, and look, I know, Jiggy is moving Dante to the bench. Look, he's playing inspiring ball. He's overpaying his contract. He overplaying his contract. He's hitting down the 3 at a high clip. But look, whoever we get in there, eventually, if we get a quote-unquote superstar, he's going to have to move to the bench. And he came here thinking that he's going to move to the bench, right? But I get it. Look, you don't want to mess with something, but if we want to take that next step, man, and again, I'm just thinking about Boston. I'm not worried about any other team in the East except for Boston and our health, right?
You
and
don't worry about Milwaukee a little bit, Rock?
Milwaukee's, until they could figure out who they are, until they have an identity, to me, all they're proving is how important Justin Holiday was,
Drew, yeah.
I mean, Drew Holiday. Sorry about that. Yeah, because if you look at that trade, look at what Boston's doing with this guy. And I'm not saying, look, he's not the prime reason, but this guy, he's an elite point guard, at least defensively. You take him away from Milwaukee and look at Milwaukee now. Everyone's talking about their lack of defense.
I just worry about Milwaukee's size because I know when we went up against them, I know it was before the OG trade, they were out rebounding like the shit out of us.
Oh, yeah.
The Knicks, we have to win the rebound battle to win our games because we don't have the best shooters in the world.
Well, let me just tell you something on the Bigs thing. It's funny. My wife doesn't watch basketball, but she was watching. She's one of those people like, oh, the Knicks suck. Why do you always watch them? Right? So
used to hearing that from us.
Yeah. So we were watching the game, and we had a couple friends over, and she's like, wow, I really like they play, but I just can't get over the fact they look so little compared to the Lakers. I'm like, well, first of all, everybody looks little compared to the Lakers, but at the same token, to your point about playing big teams. One thing I worry about that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is if you've ever watched when we played Milwaukee this year or big teams this year, especially when we had Mitch or iHeart, right? We had trouble guarding big fives, especially fives that could go out there and shoot the three, like Lopez, like Porzingis and things like that. So, again, like I love Mitch. He's one of our guys, but he's struggling. And then if you pull him out of the paint, at least defensively like that, to guard a three, his offensive rebounds go down. Right. So another thing to think about, like, look, again, this is assuming hypothetically we get Dejounte and with the next piece may mean that we're probably moving off of Mitch or one of our centers, because I don't even know if we're going to re-sign iHeart because he's playing out of his deal right now. But, there's a lot of moving pieces, and we got the most draft picks. We're like 16th in the league in cap space, in total salary. We got 2 All-Stars, one guy that's, in the advanced conversation for MVP. The media's put this contender title on us already. Should we pump the brakes? Should we not? So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Do you think we're a contender?
I don't want to call him a contender because, and this is my own personal definition of a contender, I feel like that's something that you come into the season. Yeah, you could be really good. You could be like that Grizzlies team a couple of years ago. You could be like the Cavs right now. Like, Cavs are a great example. Look how great they're playing, but nobody's even talking about them. No one takes them. No one's going to call them a contender, right? So at the end of the day, it's just it kind of goes all with that stuff, man. But I wouldn't call them a contender. But at the same token, I have to tell myself if I'm saying they're good enough to get to the Eastern Conference in the Final Four in the NBA, then maybe they are contenders.
Yeah.
Rock with the little sprinkle action right there. Rock, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Great forum, guys. Appreciate everything, man.
I'll see you later on at Nick at Night.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
buddy.
sir.
Going live till 5 a.m. with Eddie Presti on Nick and Night. Real quick, let's look at a couple people in the chat. I see everybody jumping in, talking. Knicks 100 at GM. What you doing, my guy? How are you? Mario, the OG is in the building. Appreciate you, Mario. Shout out. We just got a coffee from our boy Dream dropping that $5. Buy me a coffee. Appreciate that. We also got, hold on, $9.99 from our boy David Rios helping us get to NYC.
Spirit Airline ticket.
Spirit Airline ticket. Man, I hope Rose goes all in, man. The NBA is wide open. We need that 99 free well move. Can't argue that, bro. You really, really, really can't argue that. I saw this one. Ryan Bogart. Really hope they pull the trigger on Murray. We need another punch of talent for the playoff push. Rising tides raise all ships if we get a player like him.
He's not wrong, man. He's not wrong. But
Nick B, I just don't see them moving Ragu out of the starting lineup. I can see them adding another shot creator off the bench and another power forward that can shoot.
That's a Brogdon move right there. That's a Brogdon.
That's all you heard at the end was Brogdon. Hold on a second. Oh, man. Big shout out to Rocks. NYK Hot Takes with the $50 super chat, bro. Appreciate
that means this is going up
so much. That's going up for a giveaway. We in there, Rock. Appreciate you, my guy.
Thank you, Rock.
Eric from Queens. Blessings, everyone. What up, what up, what up? Guys, again, the link is in the chat for the open panel. Come on up. Talk to us. This is literally free form. All of us hanging out tonight. Don't be shy. Just come up. I promise you, you're not going to look as bad as me and Eddie. Ever.
And if you don't want to show yourself, we don't give a fuck. You don't have to. Rock it.
Hide your face. Treat it like a Twitter space. Yeah. Also, Mario, I saw you said, how do you donate? You can do super chats right here with YouTube, or you can hit the link that's pinned in the chat for Buy My Coffee. The difference between the two, Buy My Coffee actually lets us keep 95% of the profits, opposed to YouTube, who takes 30% of all that we get.
But they took 50.
It feels like it at that time. Yeah. For MVP, how you doing? Appreciate you being in the building. All right, let's see. Boston just got better today too.
Oh, with I can't pronounce the guy's name.
That guy.
Fontanet Necchio, something like that. I think that's it.
Jeep said, I love the energy. Hope tomorrow is the same. Jeep, we going 10 hours strong tomorrow with that energy. Listen, if it's your first time hanging out with us, Jeep, I personally have a doctor coming in tomorrow with an IV that's just going to pump the monster into me all episode, so I don't even have to leave my screen. Yo, I'm about to drink a lot of monsters for tomorrow, bro.
Listen, you do what you got to do, Jigga.
That's a long day, really long day. Rock said, Eddie would show my face, but searching for a suit jack to rival your light teal masterpiece.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bobby, I see we caller backstage. Bobby, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to come up and talk some Knicks. Bobby!
Hey,
you know me.
My God, Bobby. How are you,
hey,
bro?
are you guys brothers for some? I think you guys are brothers, are you?
No. I only claim
same?
one real brother.
You talk the same, I'm telling you. I never met this Eddie guy. Eddie, how you doing?
Bobby, how you doing, brother? How are you?
Good. Eddie's a cool guy too, like you, Jigga.
Hey, appreciate it. Listen, that's it,
Where
Eddie.
you from, Eddie?
You got the Bobby stamp of approval. That's all you need, bro.
Where you from, Eddie?
Queens, baby.
I'm from Queens too. Holy cow.
Queens represent. But now
I used to live in Glen Oaks. You know where Glen Oaks is?
Of course I know where Glen Oaks is.
Stop it now, Bo. Stop it.
Stop who?
No, sorry, Bobby.
People in the chat.
So, Bobby, how are you feeling
people
about
in
this,
the chat? Come on. Is everybody allowed to come online at one time?
Say that again?
Is everybody allowed to come online at the same time like we do in football?
Yeah, so a little different than we do on the Jets Evening Brew, right? Where we do full open forum. We're going to have a lot of that tomorrow during the 10-hour stream. But right now we're going one at a time. We do, you know. We believe in working for our food.
What's Nick at night, you said?
Nick at night is a Twitter space I do at nighttime. If you hop on at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you'll usually find me on a Twitter space called Nick at Night. Me and King Deej. Shout out.
You know you found the right one when you hear, oh my God, let me tell you, fuck this, fuck that, the white. Here we go. How you doing?
Name to throw out to you. Let me throw out a new name to you guys.
Okay.
New name.
What about Spencer Dinwiddie?
Dinwiddie. He's at 19.
I just threw that out just to see how you like that.
I mean,
go ahead, Eddie.
It's not awful. I think he's on an expiring contract. Again, if I want anybody on the Nets, I'm making that call, and I'm swinging for the fences, Bobby. I'm not playing here. I'm going all the way.
No, I know. You know when the last time the Knicks won the championship?
In 1973.
I was 5 years old.
God bless you.
I'm an old fart. You know that.
I know
that. Does your friend come on here? Does the Jet guy come on here?
Italy's a Miami Heat fan, so we only allow him to be on the Jet show with me as my co-host. He's not allowed to come here, but he's always invited after the Heat lose to us.
He's
Knicks.
a good guy. We like him.
Yeah, he still has a job. He's still employed. You know, he's just not
Bonesy come on here?
Bonesy stops by. Johnny stops by. That whole Jets community comes through. And
All right.
Out. A lot of fun.
We love you, Jigga. That's why.
Bobby, I'll tell you this before I let you go real quick.
Wait.
Tune in tomorrow during the live stream because we do have some new shows that we'll be announcing tomorrow. And I think you'll like the fact that we've got 2 new shows that fall right in your wheelhouse, Bobby. And we'll be back to our night times.
What about I want to just can we come on later too?
Yeah, of course. So we'll drop it in. We'll do a whole open panel and tomorrow's 10 hours.
I want to ask Eddie one question.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Bobby.
Eddie, who does Jigga remind you of?
I have no idea.
Think of a football coach in the AFC division.
Here he goes. You know what? Bobby, get out of here. Bobby coming up here with the Mike McDaniel calls. Yeah, he calls me Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins.
Oh, Mike
McDaniel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I need to gain some weight if that's how I'm looking, man. The Dolphins coach. Thanks, David. Encourage him some more. Appreciate it. All right, cool. Let me drop the open panel link again in there, and we'll pull up some of the chat stuff in here, man. We don't want to ignore the chat. That's what open panel is about. All right, let's go through some of this stuff. Oh, man, I see all the comments now. The Mike McDaniels, nonstop. Mike McDaniels. That hurts. Mario, the link is right there. We just posted it from Morning Brew Sports Network. Says open panel. Little bit. All right. You know what? All right. See what you started, Bobby? All right, let's see. I pulled some of these up. Oh, boy, 19 Con Man is in the building. What up, 19 Con? I'm waiting for him to say, no KP, Phil. Not today. Sherwin's in the building. What up, Sherwin? The Knicks need Dejounte Murray, who is 6'6" and taller. We still holding out hope, huh? I saw somebody. Yeah, you good, Eddie. I saw somebody in the chat earlier, and I wanted your thoughts on this, Eddie, and the chat, because someone wrote in here, watch Leon Rose bust a move that nobody is even expecting because that's how he rides. I'm going to find it. Can you see something like that happening, Eddie, where an out-of-nowhere name for us?
I got a guy, Colin Sexton.
Oh, God.
I could see that happening.
I don't.
Because, I don't know what Utah's doing. I don't know if they're spying, trading, but I could see like a guy like Colin Sexton just coming out of the blue and being traded here. Listen, who knows? Maybe Mikal Bridges happens. Maybe that happens. I mean, it's going to be a sick package. We're going to pay for it, Jigga. But nobody's really talking about Mikal Bridges. They're just saying how we're never going to trade with the Nets. Maybe we will. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we will.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Mario, I realized the reason you don't see the link is you are on Twitter. So if you want, jump over to the YouTube channel. I know you know our channel very well, especially with our Yankees content. Jump over there. You'll hit the link and be able to jump up.
Mario,
Eddie, actually, what I'll do is, you know what? People are asking for it, and I just realized a lot of people were asking for the link that are on Twitter. Okay. So let me screw it. You know what? We're going full open panel. I'm just going to put a whole tweet out. Let's just, just drop the actual link.
My phone just dropped dead on me. I would put a tweet out, but
I'll do it real quick. Let me grab this real quick. Bro, different topic because you weren't here with us this morning. How about Jacob Toppin going in the slam dunk contest, bro?
Well, I mean, I was more excited about Jaylen Brown.
Oh, all right.
You know, I mean, whatever. Another Toppin's going to win the I don't care about the dunk contest. How many fucking dunk contests have we won? 5 in the last 20 years? I don't give a fuck about the dunk contest. I want a championship. That's what tonight is about. Tonight's about getting players in here to win a motherfucking championship. I cut myself off that because I knew it was coming. But I want to just win. I want to compete. I had enough. With this
the good thing is you can watch the trajectory. You already know how it plays out, right? He's going to go to slam dunk. He's going to do his thing. He'll get some playing time maybe next season in a corner, and then he'll be traded for some second-round picks. Johnny is in the building. Yes. What it do, Johnny?
What's going on, guys? How you guys holding up? What's going on, Eddie?
Chilling, man. What's up?
Oh, you know, man, hoping our Mets are going to do some stuff. Did you see that?
Here we go with the Mets talk.
Did you see that percentage they're putting up, man, that we got like, what, an 87% of making the playoffs next year?
Yeah. I mean – listen, I'm not giving my take now on the Mets. They're not. Listen, once I see what that roster is, I'll let you know. But I'm just telling you right now, I have zero faith in this team. Because look, if they were so good, I know this is a Knicks thing, but if Stearns had faith in them, you don't think he would have built around these guys? He thinks they're losers just like I did 2 years.
I love how you guys are getting these high projections and the Mets haven't done shit. But you know what? You know what, Johnny? Good segue because I'll play this real quick. To the channel. You got Al Cintron from WFAN, Artheo Al. You got Eddie Presti. We also have guys that are going to be weekly spots with us as well. right? So a lot of that news will come out. But you talk to Mets, and now enough of the Mets conversation. Damn it, Johnny. Johnny,
Ronnie, you better
going
come through.
after, bro.
You better come through.
Oh man, I will, dude. I told Porto, man. I was like, you're one of my favorite people on YouTube, dude. You do your thing, man. You spit facts, even though sometimes I can't
agree.
talk about David Wright, So
you can't agree on everything, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey, but with the Knicks stuff, man. I mean, first and foremost, I don't know if anybody else yesterday when I saw Brunson go down, I turned the TV off. And I was in complete silence for like a good 30 minutes. I was like, I do not want to see what's going to happen. I was like, this is my luck. This is what I get. I'm bad luck for watching the damn game. I don't need to do this anymore. But I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he, thank the Lord and everything. Because being a Jet fan, 4 plays into the season.
Yep.
So it's all right, Robert. It's all right. We know who the true team in New York is, man.
He said, "Talk Knicks, Mario."
Yeah,
talk Knicks. Enough of that shit.
Hey, but
Johnny, who's your guy, man? Give me your guy. Who do you want tomorrow?
That's the thing, man. I don't know. I mean, I would love Rosen if that was able to go ahead and be possible. I think we would give up a lot of stuff for that. But
why is it expiring contract? I don't think he'll cost as much as Dejounte will.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have that guy. I mean, I think he'll. But the thing is with him, right? Would he be willing to come off the bench? That's the biggest thing right there.
In the conversation, right? Is can you convince him to do it? Yeah, perfect scenario. Then whatever.
He's 34 years old. You sit him down and say, "Yo, you want to win or not? This is your chance. You be the 6th man off the bench and you contribute to a championship." And then you're labeled as a winner, and you could go in New York, wherever you want for the next 30 years, eat for free, drink for free, and get tons of sponsorships and things and make money. So that's what I'd tell DeRozan. That's how I'd pitch him.
And exactly. I mean, would I love to see that get done? Yes. But I mean, I'm on train with the Burks thing. I'm not too sold on him, but coming off the bench, seeing what we got. I don't know, man. It's tough because I like what we have right now, and I get the whole concept of we are like one player away maybe from it being to that next level. Right. But I just love what we have right now, man. The chemistry's there. These guys are playing hard. I mean, we haven't had a team like this in I don't know how long, and for seeing the team gel and Tibbs and then seeing the front office with Leon doing magic the way he's doing right now. It'll be intriguing to see what's going to happen and all that. But like you guys were saying, he might do something that none of us are expecting. And then we're going to be like, holy crap, like this guy, just give this guy a statue in front of the garden real quick and, go from there. But I appreciate you guys, man. I just wanted to come up here real quick, show some love. I'm thinking of seeing if I'm going to do the duck race because, I got PTSD from it.
You lost every time,
dude. I'm like about to win, and then out of nowhere, my hamstring like just blows out of nowhere, dude. And Porto's like, "Well, Johnny lost again." So,
well, Johnny, you got to.
Johnny's duck usually comes out pretty high, and then it just gets a flat tire every time. Like I get it, he doesn't want to hang out.
That's how those duck races go. From what I've watched, it's the guy that's in last place up until about
just hiding back there.
And he goes from last, and he just goes up to the top of the line and wins. It's how it goes. So that's how I look at those things.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you guys, man. Keep doing your stuff. Hey, 10 hours tomorrow, man.
Yes, sir.
Good luck with that. I'll be watching. Work from home, so get to hear you guys in the background. So it'll be pretty dope, man. So I appreciate you guys. Eddie, I'm excited for the Mets. Let's go.
Let's
and
go,
for the Knicks, baby.
You got to get the new Met hat now too. The new one, but he knows what I'm talking about. They switched up.
The prophet is in the building. What up, Philly boy?
There he is.
What up?
He's got the gold Knicks hat on tonight.
Yes, sir.
Gold.
Yes, sir.
Phil, I'm gonna let you rock a second while I go get my charger.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm rocking that gold because I'm hoping that Leon Rose has that Midas touch and can pull something off. Hey, I see my guy Mario up in here. I haven't seen Mario in here at all. Mario, the OG. What is up, Mario? Good to see you, my guy. But yeah, man, I just got the kids down. It's been crazy just being on full on dad mode with my wife out of town. Like, anyone who is a husband to a stay-at-home mother, like, go 4 or 5 days without your wife being there at all, and you'll see how ridiculous, of a job that they have. Like, so salute to my wife if she ever sees this, but all the single moms out there, or the stay-at-home moms while we're trying to bring home the bacon. But yeah, man, I just sent Mario the link. He asked how he can get up here, so let Mario come chop sometime in this episode. But Eddie, man, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm really, really believing that something's going to happen, but I'm also at a point where I'm just like, do I really want to get my heart broken? And I think
that,
because what I'm saying is, like, with all the news that has come up, and has been happening, like, we just got the news that OG's, elbow is a little more than just a soreness,
Right.
So now I've gone from, well, we don't really need to make a move as long as our guys come back healthy, to crap, we might need to make a move, so I was a little more content before, but now I'm just like, if OG continues to have this happen and he can't play back to back games as this recovers, like, we need something to happen. So I went from being content if something didn't happen and being like, okay, we could still ride it out with what we got, to like, now I need something to happen to protect us, for that insurance. And so I'm a little worried that something might not happen, because that news came so close to the deadline that maybe the front office was thinking what we were thinking, that we might be fine where we're at when these guys come back healthy in a few days. So now that it's going to be longer than a few days, I don't know if the front office is fully, prepped for a big, even a big move, but a move that sustains us. And I also don't want them to do a move that winds up being something so fast that, it winds up being the wrong move, that their hand was pushed too quickly. So yeah, it's concerning, man. I'm not going to lie.
So Phil, knowing what we know, we don't know much. We don't know much about Randle. We know a little bit about OG, but knowing all this, what are you doing? You're Leon Rose, the guns to your head. What are you doing, Phil? What is your move right here?
So now to me, it's not so much just a bench piece. Like, it has to be a piece that can start and can also play the bench after these guys come back. That person has to be good enough to be able to fill in for an OG or a Randle if they're injured. They have to be good enough for that. So the Malcolm Brogdons of the league, not it. Like, that person's not coming in and being an effective replacement if OG or Randle have to be out for a substantial amount of games. But a DeRozan, a Murray, a Bridges, those are all names that need to happen, need to be considered more so now than ever. Like, if OG would have been back by now, I think needing to go that big so early, like, wasn't a necessary move. But now, with OG maybe out longer and the possibility of re-agitating that causes something to need to happen now. So real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Bobby. Bobby, I see you backstage. Give me a thumbs up if you're good, able to come up. All right. So we're going to bring Bobby up because I want to hear his thoughts based on the OG news that has come out now. Like, do we have to make a bigger move than we thought, or can we still lay it cool? You're on mute.
I pulled a Phil. About to say, wait, Bobby's on rotation. We already had Bobby up. I just dropped the link for the open panel again in the chat, and I did it on Twitter as well.
Don't be shy.
Open panel, dropping it again right there. All right, so while we're waiting for those other callers, they're loading up backstage, Phil. Let's look at some of the stuff in the chat that people were talking about. Mike Stale, how you doing, Mike? Appreciate you. All major reporters are saying Knicks only in on Burks and Clarkson.
Eesh.
And if that's me, then I hope it's not Burks and Clarkson. Just go Burks.
Clarkson he's a chucker. I don't want that guy anywhere near us.
Yeah, Phil, I didn't get you. You just got here. Where are you at with Clarkson? Because again, multiple timeline mentions about him again today.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Clarkson. This year, I feel like he's been kind of that clucker status, you know, the chuck it up, hope to shoot. But I also think if you look at it, that Jazz roster is even more poorly constructed than our old Knick roster with RJ and IQ. Like, it's a bunch of guys that don't really fit, that have a lot of similar skill sets, that are, you know, Lauri Markkanen. Main point of Lauri Markkanen is to drive and shoot a three. Okay. Then you have
I'd take Markkanen on this team.
Oh, I would love Markkanen. Like, that's, you know, not even a question. Like, he's top 3 players to me that I would want here. But when you look at him in that roster, then you have next to Colin Sexton. What's the point of a Colin Sexton? The same exact thing. Drive or hit a three. Like, there's no variance in their main guys.
I like Sexton's finishing, though. I like the way
I do too. But I'm saying, like, all of them do the same thing. You know, like, they brought Clarkson in there to be a bucket getter. You know, they have Olynyk there, who is supposed to be a bucket getter. You know, so most of their guys,
that's why I kind of like Olynyk. He's like a dirty dirtbag.
But most of their guys have the same kind of skill set. So I feel like Jordan Clarkson is kind of in one of those, like, I no longer fit here, so I just need to try to score kind of scenarios in Utah, you know? But if you look at how he played in seasons previous, last year I would have done anything to add a Jordan Clarkson to our team, you know? So if adding Jordan Clarkson to a different team brings that kind of Jordan Clarkson back, then I would be fine with it. But we don't know if that's the case, you know? When it comes to Alec Burks, I don't mind, but that's not going to do anything for us. Like, that's just not. Yeah, like that if OG is out, you know, for a substantial amount of time, and let's say he gets injured again in the playoffs, and we brought Alec Burks in. That was our guy that we brought in at the trade deadline. Well, I think it's a first to second round exit, you know, for us.
Hold on, Smitty! Smitty, we missed that accent, bro. Get up here if you got time, my guy.
For me, I would be fine with if we added something like bench pieces, for it to be like 2 bench pieces by trade deadline. I wouldn't mind bringing an Alec Burks and a Jordan Clarkson, but I don't feel like either one of them move the needle alone.
Who's your dream player, Phil? Who's your dream guy? You wake up tomorrow morning.
His dream guy was taken in the offseason.
I know, KP. I know that. We got to update the takes, so we got to update it.
No, I think for me right now, I would love a Mikal Bridges trade. And here's why. This is why. Because I think Dejounte Murray has some better skill sets in some areas than Mikal Bridges. But I think the character of Mikal Bridges fits better. Dejounte Murray is one of those flashy, like, he comes to a big city, like, he's going to eat that up. He's going to eat up the flashiness, you know? And I know he says he doesn't like that stuff, but we do know he likes the ego. Like, he does have an ego. And I feel like that's going to be something he's really going to be stroked on a New York team. And I think it might be hard for Tibbs to fully respect that kind of attitude. Like, we don't have the flashy me, like I'm going to be in front of everybody guy on our team. And I think that's because Tibbs wouldn't really like that flashiness. Mikal Bridges would come in with that humble play, leave everything Villanova attitude that would instantly get him minutes, and that chemistry's already there. And with 2 guys out, with 2 guys out, we don't really have time to test waters of getting chemistry as we would need to do with a Dejounte Murray. We would have to test to see if him and Jalen can play well together. Without Randle, without OG, we need someone that can just fit in perfectly, and he's had that history already with 2 of our starters.
I would say that the consensus amongst Knicks Twitter, amongst everybody on YouTube that does Knicks content, I think Mikal Bridges is the dream player for all of us. But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
the dream,
with
but
dreams,
not the real. Exactly,
dreams
it's
don't
a dream.
always
It's
come true.
exactly. It's Peter Pan land, right?
Exactly.
We're forced to sit there for the dream,
As Tony
right?
would say, it's a Disney take. Although Tony was
Yep.
bridges too.
Bo Ismail just said per Woj, Ivy in the Burks deal as well.
Whoa. Did this happen? Are we missing something?
Let's pull it up. D-Rod.
Ivy's in that deal.
Clickbait season, right?
Oh, yeah.
Clickbait season. It's the eve of the trade deadline. Yeah, I'm gonna let you and Phil look it up.
No, there's
that just
nothing.
came out. I don't see anything right now.
No.
Chris said, "Get roster upgrades. That's what matters. To leave this deadline in a better position than we came into it."
Agreed. Chris,
Yeah,
get
and
up.
let's be
Chris, get
real too. The injuries are concern, right? The OG's injuries concern. We're still waiting for the reevaluation of Julius.
Real quick,
all that.
Real quick,
Yeah,
on Eddie's Instagram, Eddie's Twitter right now, there's 16 watching. There's 16 on the Brew Crew, and there's 21 in mine on Twitter. Come on over to the YouTube, click that open panel link, chop it up with us. We want to hear your thoughts. I know you guys spit till you're blue in the face on Knicks Twitter. This is a different audience, and I want a lot of people to hear your guys' takes. I don't want to always have to say, who was that? And then go through my Twitter and have to give you guys credit. Like, get on here, get your own credit, hop up, let's talk.
Kid Marvel said, "Yep, clickbait. It was definitely clickbait when it came to the Bergs deal." But I mean, okay. But I mean, even outside, obviously, we're talking Knicks trades and everything, but how quiet is this pre-trade deadline, bro? Like, there's just, is it that the prices have all just been so effed up that now it's like people are just like scared at this point?
But you're seeing prices come down a little bit.
No, it's not quiet. Kevin Knox got moved. Are you crazy?
Oh, that's it. I forgot the blockbuster. The blockbuster.
What did we pick him? We picked him over Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yeah, let's not talk about
Bridges. Oh my
why
God.
you gotta open old wounds? Like
that
we might have
hurt. It's like pouring
tomorrow.
salt into that shit, Eddie.
Awful.
Fuck it. Bring Dwight Howard back. He'll be dirt cheap. Kyle Lowry and Brogdon. All right, man. Listen, he took our tweet serious when we said, "Sit back, pour a drink, light it up, and come hang out." Because that right there, that's
like you poured all the drinks. Dwight Howard,
you didn't leave me any.
Hey, listen, man. I don't mind Dwight. Dwight could.
I just want this to be over.
And it's 3:00 tomorrow, so
3
it's
p.m.
like
tomorrow.
But the fact that we're not hearing anything is making me even more pissed off. Like, it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, and then my head starts going crazy. Is Randle hurt? Do we not know about Randle? Is he needs surgery? You know, that I get worried. And I guess I get anxious.
Here's the thing I'll say before we bring Bobby up. My concern is, and question is, there were rumors of, okay, the Knicks aren't really talking about the full status and health of Quentin Grimes and OG because this is kind of their tactic. You know, they don't want to let people know, you know, if it's minor or serious because it doesn't want to affect any of the trade inputs.
Same with Randle.
Why less than 24 hours before the deadline? If that was true, do we get news that OG's situation is worse than we thought it was? Like, how do you, if your plan is really to keep all lips sealed, how do you screw that up to the point that, like, right when it matters, the lips get open? You know, it's like, secret, you know, before anything happens tomorrow. So, well, I don't know.
I know you stopped by the show this morning, but that was like one of the things I said when it came to Grimes, right? Like, once I saw that they literally put the report out that he's probably missing the next 2 games, we're not gonna see him until after the break with the knee stuff, like publicly admitting to it tells me he's not involved in any trade package.
Yeah.
Right? They took his value off by just, you know, saying, here's what's up with his injury. He's not going anywhere. So to me, it's like, okay, so now we're back to our, okay, we've got a bunch of picks and an Evan Fournier contract to get rid of.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Sims is on the table. He was sick yesterday, apparently. So we'll see. Just an illness. Nothing major, just illness. So, but Bobby, you're still good. Sorry,
breaking news. So long. Phil, I texted you. Breaking news. Nets trade Bridges for Jigga and Eddie Presti and a fan to be named later. Nets need some fans. I have yet to meet one. Yeah, facts, Davey. And they ain't coming in this chat. 99%. You never catch him in here. Eddie ran to the bathroom. I was like, where'd he go?
Word.
All right. I saw people
So-
trying to come in. Let me answer these messages. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
I bet Phil.
There's Eddie.
Yeah, no, you're good. I know Mario said he wanted to come up. I hope Mario was able to get that link and get everything worked out. Not sure what happened there.
Nick Yak, you know, he's always just speaking his mind. It's so stupid thinking we are going over the cap when we need contracts for OG, Hartenstein, and Precious when 4 players back after 4 games and the break. It sounds like Nick Yak's on the stay pat. Wait for our guys, the health and the reinforcements, which again, we said that about right after the OG trade.
Yeah.
Do not be shocked if we don't see a trade. I'm not beating the drum begging for us to go get somebody just to get somebody. But Eddie, how are we in a world where we're on the night before the trade deadline and I've convinced myself, okay, maybe Alex Burks isn't a bad move at all.
Well, look, you know what it is? It's because you watch the bench. We watch this team play every night, and we know how thin they are. So, you know, I get what you're saying. Like what were we? 13-2 or something with OG, right? Something like that. And then shout out to the Whites.
That one line from Eddie it's like your viral line now, bro. The F word and the Whites. Like that's what you expect from Eddie. Go ahead, bro.
No, but look, again, we saw how this team played with OG. They were great. You know, we're almost, unstoppable in some cases. But still a part of me felt that we still needed to bring in one more player. And I've always felt this way even after the OG trade because I feel like we were one player away from really competing with the Bostons, with the Denvers, with all these, the top of the top. And I believe we're that good. And my whole thing is I don't want to waste it. I don't want to piss it away. So I want to go for it. I don't care what it takes. I want to go for it because nothing is a given. Nothing is given or guaranteed for next year.
But is that you then saying that if we got Murray, that's the piece that guarantees we're going to the championship?
It might not guarantee it, but it puts us in a better position.
Closer.
Exactly. And if you get Murray, you're not like, that's not just your team. You could still build if it doesn't work after because he's got a great contract. He's got a great reputation. He's a good player. And let's say it doesn't work out this year with him. All right, we'll flip him in the summer for somebody else. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Just Knicks, I saw your camera. It was saying you were trying to connect. Let me know when you're back there, bro. We'll bring you back on the panel. Go ahead, Philly boy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's one of those things that the OG trade was on paper and then actually watching it out was everything that you would want to see from a Knicks fan, for a Knicks fan. It was everything that we want. Him being out, what's going to be what now? 6 games? 5 games? How many games has he been out?
I want to say 5, but somewhere around
whatever.
There.
Like the fact that he's announced that tomorrow he's also going to be out. Now it's starting to be worrisome. Like it's really starting to put some concern on my heart. And here's the thing. I know injuries happen. I know that.
And he's not a guy that plays 82, Phil.
No, he's not. He's not. And I expected that, but I didn't expect at the pinnacle of our start to rise to get to where we want in the East to then be plagued by another player in our starting lineup. Like it's just winds up being like what I hate is like, how there's curses on teams, that people always say, oh, it's the curse of this. It's the curse of that. It was the curse of Babe Ruth for the Red Sox for like however long or whatever. But for Knicks, it feels like we're finally starting to get somewhere. And now we're down 3 guys that were our starting lineup, like that's crazy, to have 3 of 5 that were once in our starting lineup be out right now. And so you got to go with a trade that gives you durability, that gives you no injury in the trade history, which for me, that's another reason I'm like, do not trade for Brogdon. Brogdon has an injury history. Like he has an injury history. The last thing we need to do is, hey, 3 of our guys are injured. Let's trade for someone who's also been injured a ton. That's just not the smartest move. So we just got to be very, very smart, very tactical in this decision. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna bring up Just Knicks. I'm gonna take myself off. Guys in the chat, if you're watching us here on YouTube, appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. We've got 86 likes, but we've got 200 in the building. Run up the likes for your boy. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. We're trying to hit that 3,500 before the weekend is here. I'm gonna step down. Let's bring up Just Knicks.
Yo, what up, my guy?
What's good? What's good? How you guys doing?
Chilling, puppy, chilling. Good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
So like you've heard, we're talking about what could be with all these injuries and whatnot, with the OG news and everything like that. And people are asking questions, does this player even fit? Like I see J-Roz put, does Murray stunt Dante DiVincenzo's production? We saw him off the bench and it wasn't working. And that's why I would say it's not just a one piece that we kind of need. Like if Dante was to go to the bench, we still need an actual facilitator, to make that work. Like he works in the starting lineup because Jalen Brunson's an actual facilitator, can actually figure out how to run an offense. We don't have that on the bench yet. So it's not just a 1-for-1. It's kind of a mutual thing. But where are you at with the news of the injury, the potential players that are out there? Who actually protects us from, going backwards if we were to have one of these injuries rise up in the playoffs?
That's really a good question because honestly, whomever we bring in here, me personally, I don't want to touch the starting lineup. Like I believe in DiVincenzo as literally the third option. He's been since the guys that were hurt been out, he stepped up. And honestly, who can we bring in that can shoot, if not equal 3-point percentage as him or higher? I don't know too many people that's on that level that's shooting as good as him. Not to mention the fact that he has chemistry already with Brunson. It makes more sense to bring people to our team who know how we play already. That's why I'm just more focused on the bench. You see Deuce, he's not ready yet. So you got to kind of maybe bring somebody in that could kind of, be here for this season and kind of just work with him. So maybe we give him a shot maybe next year. But the person that I would bring, just to keep it simple, is Alec Burks. Just being honest. It's simple. He's played with us before, and he can score. He could play. He's a big guard. He's veteran. He's played the point for us. It's just that's the simplest move without really not touching too much because, we could trade for Bruce Brown, but just looking at his numbers, I mean, he don't really shoot that well from 3. I'm not a big Bruce Brown fan. Jordan Clarkson, he's a chucker. Like my guy Eddie said. Eddie had me dying, man. He said he's a chucker. I don't like chuckers.
He's an RJ. I don't want him.
Yeah. I feel like Jordan Clarkson, we can't depend on that because what if he has a cold night? I don't want to be in a game 7 and we got to Brunson needs to, sit down on the bench and you telling me Jordan Clarkson goes maybe 2 for 10. I can't. That'll piss me off. So I'm gonna go the simple route, and I know it might not be the best, the best appealing option, but I think this will be, just the simple move. You could keep Grimes still, maybe trade Fournier, and bring in Burks, and just keep the wheels rolling because you don't want to lose someone like Grimes. And he's still young, man. He still got more potential. This man guarded Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, man, with one knee. We got to really look at things in a big aspect. He got more to come, man. I still believe in Grimes.
Let me ask you this: what do you see them? Because if you're just saying bring in Burks,
right?
I'm thinking that you think you have a lot of faith in this team, correct?
I do.
So what is their ceiling right now? This team? Well, you think they're very, very good.
Okay, so you talking about with Burks or without Burks?
Fuck it, with Burks.
With Burks, easily we could go to an Eastern Conference Finals. Okay. Easily. With everybody healthy, easily. Okay. Because I'm not going to overlook going, say, we could go to a finals because Boston's a tough team. But with Burks, getting that scoring off the bench, if he could just give us 15 to 10 points off the bench just consistently in the playoffs and play make, We could go to an Eastern Conference Finals this year. I believe so.
What I like about Burks is the cost. You know, it's
Exactly.
going to be 2 second rounders. That's why I wouldn't be the least bit upset about Burks. But again, I'll keep saying it. I think this team is special. I think Brunson's having a special season.
Right.
If OG comes back and Randle comes back healthy, and I don't even care about Mitch, but if those two come back healthy and we bring in one more guy, I really think that we have finals and beyond. I think that's
Okay.
how I do.
So,
It
all right,
wouldn't surprise me.
here's where I'm gonna give a little pushback, okay?
Okay.
Because I have no hate towards Alec Burks. I actually really liked Alec Burks and felt like I never really wanted him to leave. I just wanted the coach to actually learn how to efficiently use the guy instead of trying to turn him into this point guard facilitator that he was never going to be. My question is, there's a big, if all of our guys come back healthy and nothing happens to them, this team can do this. That's a lot of teams. That's a lot of teams that can say, if nothing goes wrong with our roster, we can be contenders. The problem is that if you look, Randle was injured in the playoffs last year. Came back, rough start, now injured again. Short period of time, multiple injuries. Bam. Look at Mitchell Robinson, constantly been injured. Okay. OG has been great, but has an injury history to the point that even when they won the chip, his biggest regret was that he was injured when it really mattered in the playoffs and wasn't able to actually be a major contributor to winning that ring. Like he contributed throughout the whole season, but then when it came playoff time, he was injured. So that's 3 guys that have had massive recurrences of these injuries. And then you have Jalen Brunson, who has suffered minor injuries already throughout this season. And you see in the last few games, he's been holding his legs at certain times if he gets, hit hard. Now, if any of these guys go out, that's an issue. So that's why an Alec Burks trade doesn't really move the needle for me, because it still requires everyone to come back fully healthy and perform at their max capacity, which we don't know if that's going to happen when they come back from these injuries. So for me, a trade needs to actually be that if one of those guys was to get injured, we can still say that we could possibly make it to the Eastern Conference Finals because we have this guy that can pick up the slack when Randle gets hurt, if Randle gets hurt, or OG. Alec Burks is not the kind of player that if any of those guys get injured, he's enough to still put us on his back and step up to that front, that starting lineup and fill that need. He's just not that guy. He is a bench player. He is a bench player, and he is a role player, and he's good at that. But he would be a great role player at a team like, I don't know, let's say the Denver Nuggets that don't really suffer from injury, and all he has to do is come off and be that great person off the bench. Yes, he takes them to the next spot because they're healthy and they're going to be in the playoffs. But with our question marks, that's way too much of a question mark to say that Alec Burks is the right trade for us. It needs to be Alec Burks and something else just in case those guys get injured. It's too many of them.
I'm with you on it. Again, they're good, but if Randle's hurt or OG's hurt, I totally agree with you, Phil. You bring in a guy that could just keep the ship right. We need another star. I don't want to say star, but I'm going to say it. You need kind of another star player. So, again, this brings me back to the DeRozan thing. I sound like a broken record. I keep saying DeRozan over and over and over, but I go back to him because he's on an expiring contract. He's not going to cost 10 first-round picks. If they decide to trade him, I think it'll be two of those protected picks, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with giving that up and seeing where this team stands with DeRozan, because DeRozan's an OG. He's 34 years old. Went to a bad situation there in Chicago where everybody got hurt. He comes here. He's a big help. He's a big, big help. When they start throwing those double teams at Jalen Brunson, guess what? You leave DeRozan open in the corner or anywhere in the mid-range, he's a fucking assassin. He's going to bury that shot. Or he can even take it to the cup. So he's going to make you pay. And that's what I want. I want to make these teams pay, and I want to compete.
Yeah. Yeah. So real quick, before we continue with the conversation, I want to give a shout out to everyone in the chat right now. We have over 191 people. There's been up to 230 at one time. And this is just a random live stream. So we appreciate you guys locking in with us. Appreciate everybody in the chat that's been just speaking it up like crazy. Jeep the Best, we appreciate you. J Roz, Rebuild NYK, Evan Best, Rocks NYK, Jacob Petruzzi. Hopefully you win a duck race one day, Jacob. I appreciate you always trying. Nick Yak,
never won either, Phil.
Hector Cabrera. Yeah, those things are hard. I wouldn't enter. Knicks 100. Chris Van Ginkel. Ooh, it's like Van Winkle. Van Ginkel.
That's
Chris
Chris
the guy.
Yeah. Me and him, we did the space the other night together. We were talking about the CBA.
Shout out real quick to our boy D Rios. Bought 3 coffees. Best Knicks chat around. Get to spring training, my guys.
Frontier Airlines, boys.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at that. Sham Gambino. I appreciate you, my guy. Totally agree with the prophet. The prophet's in the building, baby. What you know?
All right, let me get Just Knicks back up here. Let him get his final take with you.
All right, so Just Knicks, final take. What are you? Forget like what makes the most sense. You know, when you're like Alec Burks is probably a possibility. Like, let's say it's Alec Burks, whatever. For me, if you go and you deal with Detroit, you got to get something else with Alec Burks. You know, get me a Alec Burks and a Bojan, or you know, an Alec Burks and somebody. Screw it.
Ivy.
Throw in some picks and get me Jaden Ivey, and let's see how he develops here. But if you had your choice of these names that have been thrown around over these last few weeks, not what is the most logical or possible, what would your choice be for that player?
He's muted, by the way.
And you're muted, so unmute.
Oh
no.
Okay.
You're good to go.
I don't know, man. It's like I like the Dejounte Murray trade. I'm not even gonna lie. The DeRozan trade is really good too. That's a sneaky one for me too, because he's I kind of agree with Eddie, because when teams double team Brunson, we need to kick it out to someone who's gonna actually hit the shot. You know, I'm seeing Josh Hart and Precious Achua. They're not really scorers. They're more the defensive guys and
team guys.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Chicago's looking to trade DeRozan right now, but if it's up to me, I'll probably bite the bullet on this. I'm gonna go with Dejounte Murray.
All right. Okay. I respect
that. And here's one thing I'll say about Dejounte as opposed to DeRozan. And I want people to like hear that I like both players. But I've wanted DeRozan here since before he was in Chicago. Like, he is built for a New York team. Like, he is built for this. Like, he's played in cities that are going to make him fundamental and foundational for a championship contending team. Like, this is a guy that has freaking been coached by one of the best in Greg Popovich when he was with the Spurs. Like, he was coached by one of the best, you know, like, and so you look at what?
One of like the best to ever do it. You're 100% right.
And so he has that knowledge. So on top of coming to play for, you know, a team that, you know, is really good, you know, in us, and having a defensive minded coach and Tibbs really learning over the last few months, he also has the experience of one of the coaches that we would say is one of the best to ever do it. So that's an experience in itself. That's someone that brings a whole new knowledge of basketball. You saw him ever since his days in the Raptors. He's always been a kind of player that can put the pressure on his shoulders. And that's something we need. Like, DeJounte's been able to show that, like, this year when it comes to the regular season. But we all hear that playoffs are a different monster. Like, it brings a kind of pressure that the regular season doesn't. you need a guy like DeRozan who doesn't care. Like for him, a game is a game, and he's going to play it like he was in the Rucker Park, and he's just going to do what he has to do to win the game. And that's the kind of player he is. He's built like that. He has that all-star caliber. He's got that, years of experience that we need, someone that won't buckle under pressure. And even playing in Chicago, like he's had teams around him that are all great, great players. Like he's played with really good people. And when he's been in Chicago, Vucevic, minus the 3-point shooting, because we haven't really allowed Isaiah Hartenstein to do that here. But if you look, Isaiah Hartenstein is a more like fierce version of Vucevic. Like he's a Vucevic that has the cojones to drive. Vucevic will do everything else that iHeart does, except he'll shoot a 3 instead of go and dunk it. So DeRozan knows how to play off of a good big guy. He knows how to play off of a good ball handler. So for me, DeRozan fits everything, and I don't have any question marks on what he can do. Murray, there's still those question marks. Everyone blames the fit between him and Trey, which I understand. Trey seems like a little bit of a basket case. But I need someone to come in that's not going to think it's their show, that Jalen Brunson is co-star in, because that's not how it's going to go. That person needs to come in knowing that they are a co-star to Jalen Brunson. And I think DeMar DeRozan can do that.
I'll take either one of them, Phil. I'll take them both, man.
For sure.
We both, bro. But, obviously I agree with you. I've been on the DeRozan train, but if we could get Murray here, man, I'm not opposed to that one bit. This is a guy, he's, making $24 million next year. It's nothing. We won't be over the second apron with this guy. He's a 4th star. Listen, it may work, it may not, but maybe he could, if you bring in Murray, he could take some of the pressure off of Brunson. But listen, I'm not opposed to either. I'm just thirsty for a player, man. I want a real baller in here. I want Alec Burks. I'll take him, but I want somebody that moves the needle, man. I want us to win. And I think we can.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Just Knicks, appreciate you, my guy. We're going to bring up our next guest. Stick around. If you have more thoughts later, we'll bring you back up. But we got someone from across the pond.
Real quick, shout out to our boy Nathan. Just dropped $25 buying us some coffees and said, get your asses out to spring training. Appreciate you, Nathan. Appreciate everybody in the chat. If you haven't yet, guys, hit the like. It's simple. Just scroll right down to the bottom. Just hit the little thumbs up. Give us a likey. Hit the sub if you haven't yet. Multiple ways to donate. Guys, our boy from across the pond. Bring him up, Smitty.
There he is. It's like old times. What happened? There we go.
What's happening?
What up?
What's going on? Not much, fellas. I jumped in before. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I thought I would show up for 5 or so minutes and see how you guys are doing. See what you're doing here. Obviously, pretty cool. Got the trying to get the money to get out to spring training, which is great. Always continuing to grow the brand. So good stuff, guys. I'll be sure to donate to that on my way out the door.
It's only $1, Smitty. We only expect $1.
Of course. But yeah, man, I tuned in before listening to you guys. So obviously it's Eddie's favorite time of the year. As I said in the comment earlier, it's like Christmas for him. So what's the news? What have you got for me, Eddie?
We got nothing. We got no news. I don't know. I'm going nuts here. We're talking about Alec Burks, and we're justifying how this team is okay with just Alec Burks. I'm not okay with that, Smitty.
All right. So, Smitty, for me and you, this is kind of an enjoyable time as Knicks fans. We kind of have our theories, our thoughts, and stuff like that. For Eddie, life has to be miserable right now because this is the guy that goes to bed at 4 a.m. after running a 4-hour Knicks Twitter space, wakes up, jumps on our show in the morning, then tries to figure out every other Twitter space he can hop on. Like, this kid does not sleep when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, he dreams about this stuff. Like, we all dream of, whatever, rain cloud, with like candy clouds and this, that, and whatever. Eddie just dreams trades all day. So things not happening make him miserable. This is the kind of guy that I feel like he'll be out on a date with his wife, like making out while trying to look at Woj's tweets while
100%.
he's making out with his wife because he wants to not miss anything.
On. He would have notifications on for Shams, for Woj, like everybody. So that's what Eddie does, right? Like I said, it's like Christmas for Eddie, except it's kind of like Christmas when you don't know if you've been on the good list or the naughty list.
Right.
So he doesn't know if he's getting a bike or a lump of coal.
Listen, I just want to say, I don't want to piss this team this year away because I think we're good. And I think what Brunson's doing is like special. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Randle's really hurt or not. Like I don't know. I think the Knicks keep that shit tight. I don't think they're going to give it away, obviously. Mm-hmm. So we don't know about OG. But when I did watch this team, Smitty, I'm going to say it again. I felt we're one player away. And when I watched that Lakers game, when they fucking double teamed Brunson, that was pissing me off. And I'm like, we need to get another guy here. Because if they do that double team shit in the playoffs, I want that team to get burned. So that's why I bring up DeRozan. That's why I want Dejounte. Because I think we're that close, bro. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, Smitty.
But what do you think, though, with what happened on Sunday? I mean, look, as we saw, they doubled him on 30 possessions. He still managed to get up 36 and 10 on, I think it was 47%, which is amazing. And you say we need another guy, which is a fair, assessment. But I mean, he was out his second best player, or I guess you could say his 1B to his 1A, if we're trying to take stabs at Becky Hammond there. But I mean, you're missing him. Then you're missing OG, who, granted, is mostly defensive. But I mean, leading up to that last game that OG played, he was fantastic again offensively. So, I mean, you take that away, it's probably an easy win against the Lakers. I felt like we were always going to lose that game against the Lakers, though. As we know, LeBron and AD sat in the lead up to it. They still got that win over Boston. It's just that thing where you go through it and you're reminded that NBA teams are still NBA teams, right? It doesn't really matter who's on the court. And then there's obviously all the other stuff that we've spoken about over time. I'm not going to get into that, but I mean, there's a possession that people were trying to use as an excuse for why there was tape out again on Brunson, apparently, like we were told at the start of the season after 2 games. And it was LeBron chasing him around. I don't think LeBron's chased tail like that defensively since Miami, right? Now, he can't do that for more than, do you know what I mean? He couldn't do that for a full 48. He couldn't do that for, 38 minutes even. But, he gave his all after a rest. So we probably do need someone else. I'm now looking towards next season, though. I think the injury's piling up. I think you're right, though. They are keeping it tight-lipped. I do believe that the injury to at least OG, I'm not too sure about Randle. I don't really have any thoughts on that, but I think that the injury to OG is more precautionary, and the fact that they think we can get it done, giving our standing. If we were closer to 500, like a lot closer, say, either at or just above, I think there's no way they've sat OG for this many games. But given this, the gap we have, we're pretty confident. I think they also know, it's that tight from second to fourth or fifth, right, in terms of standings. They're not really worried about sliding because it's so close that, once we do get those guys back, it's going to be very easy to overtake. I understand, obviously, seeding brings into play, a home court advantage and, all those types of things. But I don't think they're too stressed about that. And I think we've really managed OG well. I believe that's not as bad as people want to believe it is. I'm a firm believer of no news really is good news. And we've more or less had none until today. Now where the belief is, or the word is, that it's bone spur. It's some sort of soreness to do with bone spurs. Now, whether they were there beforehand or not, I'm assuming something like that's probably already been picked up in the medical when we made the trade for him. So, I mean, he's been wearing that elbow tape from the minute he got here. If you go back to the very first game, he had that elbow tape on. So it was only a matter of time. There was obviously something there. It was heavily taped as well. The black tape they use, and it was all the way up almost from his shoulder down to, sort of halfway down his forearm. So, these are just things that happen. I think we're in a good position for once, though, in terms of, given the injuries we have, we obviously have a lot of talent to come back. So, I don't see the loss to the Lakers as much more than the fact of how many guys we're missing. Plus, you're still coming up against 2 All-Stars. And I mean, no matter how you feel about LeBron, he's still can play fantastic any given night. I don't believe he can do it over 82 anymore. I don't believe he can do it for more than 60, but he did it on that night and he had the rest. And that's what they do. He wants to come into places like that. Plus you got Windhorst, who we know is LeBron's guy, right? You saw what he came out and said about LeBron wearing the towel.
What
did you see that? So, in the post game, how LeBron had the towel. Now, granted, when you're an away team, you only get home team towels to dry yourself off. That's just the way it goes. You get assisted by Knicks staff or arena patron staff. You get Knicks towels, just the way. But obviously, no one ever wants to be seen wearing the towels. They normally flip them over. He wore it around his shoulders on purpose with the logos out. Now, Windhorst has broken everything about LeBron across his career. By all accounts, that is LeBron's guy who he feeds information to, who then puts it out. He came out and said that while LeBron was not only playing with Knicks fans, he was more so doing it to force or put the screws to the Lakers, right? So LeBron, as we know, we'd seen a week earlier as well. He was very frustrated in the interview. He had to get someone butted in, and he said, "I'm glad that you stepped in because I was about to say something else." So he's super frustrated. Now he's out there playing games with his own team for leverage. So like I said, he was in that position where he came into the Garden that night and he was going to have a big night regardless. It didn't matter whether he scored 20 or 40, his impact was going to be huge. And defensively, his impact was huge that night. It still didn't stop Jalen Brunson, but it stopped the rest of the team. And that's what we speak to when you come into games against teams with a star. Do you stop the star or do you stop the rest of the team? And for the Knicks right now, it stopped the rest of the team because they're the ones that are going to, chip away. And you don't want to lose to guys realistically as well as Devo's been. You don't want to lose to DiVincenzo's, Josh Hart's, Miles McBride's. You don't want to lose to these guys. So I don't know. I know you love DeRozan. I no longer think though the Bulls are sellers. I think I think that's over.
I know, which is insane because they've been going down this road with them for 2 years, and obviously since Ball went down there, they've never been the same team. But they're delusional. I think they think they're going to be Miami and magically get to the finals one year. They're not.
I think that they're of the belief, and why I don't believe they aren't sellers anymore, is because of the way that DeRozan's accepted Kobe White. And they've played better without Zach LaVine than they have with him, right? So I don't think they're sellers. I think they're going to actually try and work something out to get DeRozan back on a lower deal and keep him there as a veteran to take this Bulls team into whatever it is meant to be next. You have to understand, they've been through the same shit as us. So I don't blame them for wanting to hold on to whatever they can because they're not going to get someone back in of that caliber. Not anytime soon.
I mean, but they could trade, what's his name? The center.
Drummond.
Yeah, they could trade Drummond and get probably a boatload back for him.
Yeah, I just don't think they're ready to blow it back up. I mean, they sort of, we saw him go back to the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, as far as Knicks go, though, bring it back to Knicks. As far as that goes, I believe that I firmly believe that, they're absolutely not sellers. I'd be happy to be wrong because I would love nothing more than to have DeRozan on this team, whether I agree it's a total fit or not. But
you want Murray?
I don't know. I think does it tamper? My thoughts lately now is, does it tamper too much with our identity? Because do you bring Murray in and put him on the bench? You probably don't, right?
No, he's going to start.
That's right. So unless you're bringing him in to put him on the bench, it doesn't really make sense because the whole point is, and everyone's talking about, right, Phil, is you see it. People want to get the ball out of DiVincenzo's hand as a secondary ball handler. Now, I know you could split minutes and stack, split your rotations and have, Murray kind of do what they used to do with Barrett, but it's still not as ideal as having a true six-man ball handler, right?
Yeah.
We know that. We've seen that with some of the better teams. So, I mean, we need to try and get a dynamic like what the Clippers have going on with Russ off the bench, right? Granted, Hall of Famer, etc. We're not going to get someone to that caliber and that understands the game to that level and whatnot. But I think that's where we're at. I think we need to get, I'm expecting Alec Burks. I'm actually expecting a super quiet trade period for the Knicks now. I don't believe we're going to make much of a splash. And I think this team, like myself, is looking towards next year. So I think it's going to be another building year. Even if that only means it's a second round, it'll be no worse, but no worse or no better than last year. And I think they'll get ready to relaunch and reload. It really depends on how bad that Julius Randle shoulder is, right? Shout out to Mario, man.
Mario. If you could
the thing is like, at the end of the day, we are, and this goes either way. Like, I know some people are like, this is the best we have been. Like, we don't need to rush it, this is the best we've been, but I understand.
You're muted.
Oh, you muted yourself again.
Check. All right. But also, in that same fashion, though, this is the best we have been. This is the first time we can be excited as Knicks fans that our front office is moving in the right direction. So halting it and being like, oh, we'll do this later. Like, what's the point? You know, like it's one of those things that it's like, if your car finally reaches the speed that you're trying to get to, and you're trying to get somewhere in a certain amount of time, why slow the car down for the sake of slowing the car down? Just to say, we don't have to go that fast. Well, yeah, we don't have to, but if it's going to get us to where we want to go and we're on the right track, why slow down? There's no point in the slowdown. The clear road is there. So for me, while we have Jalen Brunson and we have Julius Randle on these contracts to see if they are the future to continue to build upon, now is the time. Not when it's the time where we have to re-sign them and throw the money at them and give them their big contracts. That's not the time to find out if this team is built for the long haul. Now is the time to see if this team is built for the long haul and put the pieces in that need to be put in. So I don't want it to be like one of those Carmelo things where it's like, okay, we eventually are going to have to bring in people for Carmelo. Let's see who we can get. And we get a whole bunch of like B-side renditions of players that used to be good. And then Melo's stint was over. I don't want to do that with Jalen Brunson and Randle. Like, now's the time. Like, we're able to do it on team-friendly contracts right now. Let's do it. Let's do everything we can. We have a freaking guard who is an all-star who is on a contract that at the time, everyone, you know, there was half the fan base that thought it was a stupid move to make. And now 99.99% of the fan base, there's still that 0.01 that's out of their freaking mind. But the rest of the fan base are like, holy hell, we got this guy at a steal. Julius Randle, if he would have played the way that he played these last 2 years, his contract would not be what it is right now. Like, he would be making a lot more money. So we have both of these guys at a steal. Now's the time to build. Now's the time to go for it.
Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed. I mean, it's a case of two things can be true, right? Like you sort of alluded to, Phil. It's a case of, as a Knicks fan, you don't want to see everything be done in a New York minute, right? And then at the same time, you don't want to see a chance squandered. You know, you want it. It's no different than when you're on the court. You see an open lane, you want to take it, right? You might not know that there's someone trailing the play. You might not know that someone's coming over from the weak side to help. You don't know that, right? But you probably should take that open lane to the basket and try and get your shot off. It's no different with this. So, that's the best way I can, I guess, make it an analogy. I'm with you though, but look, I think we still got a bit of a reload in us as well again next year. It's just my biggest thing is the injuries now piling up a little bit. That's why I've started to, my belief has dwindled, not to a way where I'm like, oh, we don't have what it takes. I still think we're a tough team, but I'm at the point where I'm thinking, I just think that normally when you get to finals or, deep in the playoffs, it comes down to, in a lot of cases, a matchup of who's the healthiest. Now, granted, everyone goes into the playoffs banged up, but it's about how banged up you are and how that, I guess, comes down the roster. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we have to try and figure out where we fit.
Yeah. Here's the only thing I'll say, Smitty. You said something about the OG injury, and you were like, this is something that's probably in his medical. That to me is more concerning, because if you look at it, when something breaks, especially on a player of a full-time, career athlete, that stuff always comes back a fraction less strong than it previously did. So for me, I get less concerned with a newer injury than a injury that has been a factor before and now is a bigger concern than we thought it was, because now it's an injury that's building on an injury. We know that scar tissue, when it rebuilds, it's never the same. So scar tissue building on scar tissue, that's where concerns start to be for me. So I'm like, I love OG. I'm so glad he's here. But if this is an injury that has happened before, then it's more of a concern, and we do need to figure out something just in case. Because if he agitates it in game one of the playoffs, what the hell are we going to do?
Well, let's
I'm
be
gonna toss it over.
real
I'm gonna
here.
toss it over to you, Eddie. Real quick, shout out to Johnny buying us some coffee. He said, "I'm in for that duck race so I can lose." Appreciate you, Sham Gambino in the chat, blowing it up. Appreciate you, Sham. CP the artist is in the building.
guy.
Our boy Jay Boogie is in the building. Motion Pictures is in the building, and Hector is in the building. What it do?
What's
Hey!
good? Listen. Just so everybody know, I showed up so I don't get fined. Because Celso was messaging me, telling me that I abandoned everybody, even though he knew I was out tonight. But so I'm here just so I don't get fined. I'm contractually obligated to be on stream. So I'm here. What's up? Good morning.
I'm going to pick up for Hector real quick. Celso, Jigga texts us and he's like, "Hey, yo, I think I'm going to go live at 8 o'clock with Eddie today." And we were just like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "I think I'm going to go live. If you can't make it, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it." And then right before the stream, "Yo, you guys making it?" And I'm like,
Yo, you know what? And the 200 people in the chat, they appreciate your ugly asses being on here with us. So shut your ass up. Eddie, go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
I miss you, bro. Glad you hope all is well.
I was going to say, if OG and Randle are hurt, we're fucked. It's over. So it's over.
And can I just quickly say to Phil's state, when I said before, I believe it was something the Knicks knew about. I think it's a first time doing this injury for OG, if as far as I'm aware. So it comes back to, I think it is a new injury somewhat. I just think that they may have known there was either a spur or there might have been some inflammation at the time of the trade. So, I mean, I guess that they evaluated that probably and said this isn't a concern. So, I mean, but again, they've been so tight-lipped, it's really just a guessing game. I mean, nothing material or, I guess, rock solid has come out of at all. I mean, we had the first change today after, nearly 2 weeks now. It'll be 2 weeks on Sunday, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it's anyone's guess, realistically. I'm hoping that, for the sake of everyone, that it's minor and they've dealt with it quietly. So, we'll see. I mean,
Eddie, what's the ceiling on this team?
Right now, I think the ceiling on this team.
If we get Randle and OG back.
Yeah, so if they were to come back, if let's say hypothetically their injuries were the best case scenario, but they're still going to be a little bit hurt, then you've got time of, especially for Randle, getting back into it. I'm going to say a ceiling would be Eastern Conference Finals this season.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll
Right.
take it. So we'll all take it. Right? So you think the Celtics will beat us then?
But
well, they just got Tillman.
Before we move on with the conversation, I have a question for the panel, those on YouTube and on Twitter. Like you guys know, tomorrow we go through a whole day of streaming, continuing to raise funds for both spring training, where we will be here in Florida, meeting with players and meeting with those in the community. But we are also going to be at the end of the month going to New York, and we will be part of a Knicks Twitter event with our guy Tony. So if you are in New York, if you're in New York and you're willing to hang out with us and hang out with, Knicks Twitter family, that is for the Boston Celtics game. They'll either be at Stouts or at Blarney's, whichever one. They're trying to pick that right now. But then 2 days or 3 days later, and this is where we need your guys' opinions. We know it's a Monday and Tuesday, etc., but we're trying to get tickets to either that Pistons game or that Pelicans game, just to be able to have a section of Knicks Morning Brew family, our friends in the community, our friends in, the Knicks fan base. If you are in the city and you would be interested in coming and hanging out with us in New York at that watch party and at that game, please let us know. Just give us a yes, I would come in the chat so we can gauge interest, and then we'll post more of the information tomorrow when we have it. But we want to know if you are in the city, if you're down to link. Yes or no? You down to link, less or no? And Mario, you're in Florida. We're going to be spring training. If you want to come link, hang out, grab a drink, whatever. AA, I don't think you're here right now, but yo punk behind better be there or I'm going to fight you. So if you're in New York, let us know that you will be there. We will be setting it up and announcing everything tomorrow.
Double A
can't
is at a
wait.
bingo hall right now with the rest of the elderly people in Florida. That's
He gonna kick your ass when he comes back. He gonna kick your ass. Yo, we got our boy Dej in the building. What it do, Dej? Probably just waking up from his second nap, getting ready for that Nick at night, ain't you, Dej? Getting ready for that Nick at
12
night.
o'clock. 12 o'clock. We're going live.
12
There you go, man.
o'clock.
Man, I just want to say
So
I'm not going until 5 o'clock
the
in the morning.
entire community, this day has been amazing. We are sitting at right now 3,386 subscribers, 14 away from 3,400. If you guys are watching us, if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We are bringing you as much of the breaking news as possible. We're going to keep the content rolling. We're rolling out to about like 12 o'clock at night, and then we're back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Like I was saying earlier, Smitty, it's good seeing you, you handsome son of a bitch. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well, baby.
I do love Menno's answer. Let's get wasted and love our team together. That's the one right there.
That's a fact.
No doubt. Anyway, fellas, it's been good. I'm going to bounce now. Like I said, I'm a bit under the weather, so I'm going to go get some more rest. But I appreciate you guys having me up. It was great.
Miss you, Smitty. Appreciate you, bro.
Make sure you go and if you can donate a little, help these guys with the channel, help the team with all the stuff that they do. Get out to training, and man, if you get a chance, go and meet them. I know I will as soon as I get wheels down in the US later this year.
Sir.
So the first calls I make, but I appreciate you guys for having me, man. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Later, Smitty. That's our guy right there. Oh, guys, breaking news. They keep making us wait for a trade. Way to go, Hector.
Shout out to that guy, Hector. That's a nice first name, Hector. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it figures you'd like that name out of all of them.
It just rings off the bell very nicely.
I'm going to drop the open panel link again. If anybody wants to come up and chop it up with us, give us your takes. So, Heck, you were out and about. You missed a lot of it. I know we touched on it, this morning a little bit, but you weren't here for the OG conversation, man, with the injury and stuff. And what are your thoughts on everything and how you feeling about it?
Listen, when it comes to OG, I heard Phil doing his best impersonation of somebody that went to nursing school earlier with his breakdown of the injury concerns. Listen, when it comes down to it, those type of injuries, they do concern you because bone spurs, technically, if you watch baseball, anybody that gets a bone spur in their arm, automatically they have to shave it down or cut it down. Now in 2024, the technology is a lot better than it was ago, because 20 years ago, I'm sorry, that was me. 20 years ago, that would definitely end someone's career. But when it comes to that injury, listen, you want breaks, you don't want fractures, because if something breaks, it breaks completely and heals better and comes back better. Fractures, it doesn't break all the way, and there's still going to be some lingering injury that can happen later on down the line. So when it comes down to it, hopefully he's healed properly. Hopefully he wasn't misdiagnosed by the medical staff. Hopefully it was a proper diagnosis. Let him rest. We're not in a rush to bring OG back. If we were on an 8 or 10 game losing streak, then we can have big concerns. We are not on an 8 or 10 game losing streak. So right now, even when it comes to Jalen Brunson, if I was the Knicks front office, I'll try to make a move at the trade deadline and rest Brunson for the next 4 games before the All-Star break and bring back Brunson, Randle, and OG all rested from the All-Star break, because Tom Thibodeau, he is going to put the miles on his guys.
Make a trade, bring in somebody real that can help, and then rest Brunson.
There you go. J-Ross said Gordon Hayward. Anyone? There we go. Everybody's now back to the buyout candidates, right?
I'll take Gordon.
Listen, I said it last week with the buyouts, Gordon Hayward and Kyle Lowry. Shout out to my guy CP, the artist. I just like pissing Phil off. That's what
I like Gordon Hayward just because I could say shout out to the whites more. So that's all.
I don't like
Tony's in the building. What up, Tony?
This is the thing. What up, Tony? Yo, here's the thing. You ain't pissing me off, because for me, Gordon Hayward has been one of my favorite role players year after year after year, no matter what team he's been on. I've always enjoyed Gordon Hayward, especially when we were in the city. I was in Charlotte visiting my brother, and we got some tickets from my mom. Her boss is, a holder of the Charlotte Hornet tickets. We went, and pretty much the reason we went was to see LaMelo Ball and Gordon Hayward play. That's the whole reason we went to the game. So for me, I'm down with a Gordon Hayward type trade. Signing if he's in the buyout market. My concern with Gordon, though, is once again, a player that is plagued by freaking injuries over and
All the
over
time.
and over again. And
especially recently over the past 5 years.
yeah, exactly. You know, so he's one of those players that it was like a really good player that his career took a turn because of that stuff. He can't stay healthy, like my guy Tony said. So if he was to be able to not get injured, of course, bring him on. Maybe having a smaller role
Hayward
with
would
the Knicks
be
would help
injured again immediately. Like no one has been.
Yeah, he'll get off the plane and stub his big toe and be out for the rest of the season. But no,
Right
Phil,
after we
you
sign him.
make a solid point. When it comes to our players, and I said this earlier on the show, and I know you guys probably echoed it or said something very similar to it. When it comes to whatever happens at the trade deadline tomorrow, 3 p.m., make sure you guys are tuning in over here on YouTube, Morning Brew Sports. But when it comes down, whatever happens before the trade deadline, I have confidence in my team. Right, even the team that we have right now, even with the injuries that are going on, even with the little concerns, I still have confidence in my team. Yes, I know we still have to make a move. I'm not completely sold on this roster 100%. But if we were to go through the trade deadline and nothing was to happen, and you tell me this is the squad that we're gonna go to war with in the postseason, I'll be all right saying that this is the guys that I'll be ready to go to war with in the postseason. Sign me up with these 15 guys on the roster, including Taj Gibson. Sign Taj for the rest of the season.
I real quick,
change
off topic.
I saw that. Don't be
yeah, Eddie's got something to say. I'm gonna toss to you, Eddie. But I also want, did you guys see, because I saw we got CP the artist in the chat.
Nice.
Did y'all see the Jalen Brunson piece he's working on? He put out on X.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, CP the artist, how you doing? I'm telling you, Phil, we've talked about it. We need a custom CP the artist.
Yeah,
piece
CP the artist. Phil, you got to collab.
You guys don't have CP the artist money.
For the postseason.
He charges like $40 a picture. What are you kidding?
Yeah, I didn't say we would be able to afford full price. I didn't say a whole body. You know, we could get a head done or something. We just
need something for a nice little T-shirt for the postseason. That's it. Don't be too.
Just a little something.
Don't be too.
191 people in the building. Appreciate everybody rocking with us, hanging out, talking shit. If you haven't yet, smack the like, hit the subscribe for your boys. We had polls up. Donate, help us get to New York, end of the month, and spring training in New York. Recap one more time. Tomorrow, guys, 10-hour live stream. Kicking off 10 a.m. for about 2 hours of full Yankees talk. We got Jake from the Bronx Zoo. We got Frank Luna. We're doing giveaways, signed autographs. Then from 12 o'clock till 7:30, full straight 10 hours. We got Sky Zoo. We got Sean from the Knicks Wall. We got Khalif Adams. We got Brett Siegel. They're all coming through. And then Friday morning, we're kicking it off to keep the fundraising going. We got Bill Pito coming through Friday morning. So bringing all the content we can, working for that food. Thank you. Yes, I ain't cheap. Damn it, CP.
We know that.
You know we trying to fly Frontier, man. We need a discount, all right?
Yo, Phil, go on Groupon and see if you got a discount code. Phil loves
CP artist discount code. Hey,
you're muted, Phil. It's the Groupon,
mic.
It's the Groupon.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you shop on Groupon, you bastard.
Oh, shut up, you jerk. Speaking of trying to get a discount, yo, my guy Dej, don't you work with some airlines, my guy? Huh? My guy Dej, where you at?
We ain't too proud to beg.
You want to throw us on your plane? I don't even mind pushing the water cart, my guy. Like I will push the water cart. Like, let's do it. Bring Eddie with us. Throw him in a suitcase. We good.
Shout out my guy 19 Con Man who loves to remind Phil that there's no
KP.
I know there's not. Stuff.
We are going over the cap of
favorite chats to see. Whenever I see hashtag no KP, I love it.
Can I ask you guys something? How the hell are we gonna go 10 hours straight? If it's as dead for trade conversations tomorrow, it's gonna be a long 10 hours.
Oh no,
boys.
we figure it out. We got practice right now. We got 2 hours of airtime. So we'll figure it out.
Well, the good thing is we're gonna do a watch along, right? We're gonna watch the roommates podcast
from Jalen Brunson and
John
Paul
live
show.
reactions.
We gotta tune into our friend Dexter Henry and CP the franchise and Nick Film School and them over there. Jonathan Mackery. Shout out to our guys.
Here we go. Let's take a chat question. Are you guys not in on PJ Washington? Let's start with you, Eddie.
No
way. Jose, listen.
I
will give
Washington.
a signed MC Hammer greatest hit CD, a pack of Big League Chew, and
Whoa, that's an
Alfred
overpay.
Payton for PJ Washington. That's
No.
it. Nothing else.
Overpay.
You don't want his
Why are you
money.
shitting
Stop
on-
paying money on the roster. No, thank you. It's like 19
There's-
million a year or something.
There's no reason to shit on MC Hammer. What did he do to you, Phil?
Don't take it out on Hammer. Not on Hammer.
That was our leverage, bro. That was getting us the player, was the signed double disc, my guy.
No, listen, when it comes down to PJ Washington, like Eddie says, when it comes to the money, I'm not willing to take 19 million on. He is a bit young. He does have some upside. At moments, he seems like he can be a solid NBA player, but sometimes he disappears. He has some tools. He has potential. I'm just not sure if the dumpster fire of Charlotte is going to get the best out of PJ Washington. Maybe if PJ Washington goes to a different environment, a different team, maybe a change of scenery can help PJ Washington restart his NBA career. But over here with New York and the Knicks, I'm good. Go figure that out someplace else. Go to San Antonio.
There's one guy I would take a look at Charlotte, and you guys are going to kill me for saying it, so I'm not going to say it.
know.
So thank you. I appreciate you not saying it. Thank you.
I'm not going to say it, but if he's only going to make $7 million a year.
No, we don't need to hear it. He said we're not going to hear it. It's fine.
You can trade the OB exception and pretty much just get him. Just saying. Be a nice sixth man.
Who?
Again,
Rare in the building. What up, Rare? Appreciate
now-
you tuning
now-
in. Watch Burks be the only move.
Now I want to know who the fuck he's talking about. Who are you talking about?
Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges. Yeah, I knew that's what he was
Come on,
talking
how
about.
did you know,
I
man?
appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll be back.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap for Hector.
And we have an opening when it comes to hosts of the bottom line. We just had someone submit
Bridges.
their 2-week notice.
Whoa. But guys, here's the caveat though. CP the artist said, if Brittany Renner comes with PJ Washington, would you reconsider?
There's a hard reconsider that. If that's the case, then yeah, we can sit down and negotiate.
That's not the word to use, Hector. All right. What kind of reconsider is
They're
that?
going to make a fucking trade. That's all I'm saying. This is bullshit. We're sitting here and they make Alec Burks, and that's what I wake up to tomorrow is Alec Burks. I'm going to be pissed off.
But again, okay, but to play devil's advocate, what is there to be mad about if the only move is Burks?
What is there to be
MJ
mad about?
Burks,
We just
baby.
talked about that.
But again, if the asking
It's
price
not
and they
bad to
can't
get
pull
Burks,
the deal.
but with
Yeah.
all the injuries, Burks is not enough.
No, he's not. He's not enough.
Listen, Rock said it in the chat. There's only one
He's
bridge
not enough if
to
the
cross,
injuries
and
flare up in
Macau.
the playoffs.
That's the
Well,
Macau. That's
listen.
the only bridge that I want in the Garden is Macau Bridges. That's
We
the,
all want him, though, Hector.
huh?
We all want him, but like it's a Disney take. We know it's not happening. I wish it would.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right.
but Miles
I'm
Bridges.
saying this
nowhere,
on air
bro.
right now.
When it comes to
saying it
Miles
on
Bridges,
air right now.
especially with everything that happened off the court, I'm good with Miles Bridges. No more. I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's not the Bridges I want. But I'm going to say this right now, that if we pull off somehow a McHale trade for McHale Bridges, I am doing a remix to Method Man's Tikal, and it's going to be Macau, and it's going to be all about the genius of Leon Rose. Quote me. I'm writing that song tomorrow if it happens.
Yeah.
Sherwin said, I'm looking for that I Heart and Grimes trade for a star shooting guard.
Nah, bro.
Whoa.
No.
Listen, if you
Sherwin,
look
you
at the
getting rid of Hart?
numbers, if you look at Dante DiVincenzo's numbers, right? If you just look at his numbers and what he has done on the court, he has put up solid numbers. If you look at it, 15.8, 3.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists. He's shooting 48.3% from the field, 42.5% from three. And this is in the 33 games that he has started this season. So if you were to cover his face and just show those stats right there, they look like a starting shooting guard on a championship contending team.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but
It's not like he's a black hole when it comes to defense. He's solid
Yeah,
on
he's
the
good.
defensive
He's
end.
good,
He
but-
gets in that passing lane, so he's a good. I think he's second on our team in steals behind Mitchell Robinson as of right now. So Dante DiVincenzo, he is a solid defender also.
I know, but small sample size, heck, don't you think? I mean, This guy, if he was so
33
great,
games is not a small sample size, though.
Guys, can we show respect when Bruce Wayne is in the building? Salute, Batman. Appreciate
Batman.
you.
Best Batman.
Wow, dude. Look, Batman showed up and said, "Who's talking shit about iHeart? Who's trading iHeart?" That's right, Bruce. You come out with that money and that cotton. You're gonna go be Batman.
Eddie, 33 games is not a small sample size. 15, 10 games, small sample
But
size.
since he's been
games,
starting, Hector.
But bro, 33 games is more than a quarter of the season.
But has he been starting 33 games?
Yeah, he started 33 games so far this season, and those are the stats that I just read you in those 33 games.
Okay, I mean, I don't know.
I take my victory lap. I made.
I'm just saying, if he was this big star that you're making him out to be, he would have got a lot more money.
Whoa! I didn't say he was a big star. I didn't say that.
Well, the way you were talking, you sounded a little bit.
I
like
said
he's a big
if you were
star.
to cover his face and look at the numbers, it looks like a starting shooting guard on a championship contending team.
I wouldn't go that.
Who's this?
I wouldn't go that.
The Dante.
And I love him. I love him, but I wouldn't go.
I don't. Honestly, I'm not at a point where I would take Dante out of the starting lineup, to be completely honest. I wouldn't. Like there has to be something significant to do that. And I didn't answer about the PJ Washington. One thing I want to say about PJ Washington is that's a trade, and that's a no-go for me. He's not a player that you trade for. Like, he's just not. Especially when there's players that are just as good as he is on the buyout market. Like, why would we give up assets to pick up the kind of player that we can just buy, like get in a buyout market? Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me. I would rather do Kyle Lowry in a buyout market than trade something significant for PJ Washington.
But
did Miles really drop 45 tonight?
I'm not sure. If he dropped 45, I'm gonna have to reconsider my take.
$7 million.
I was like, hold on. I'm checking it right now.
But like CP the artist said, Phil, he's gonna come with Brittany Reiner, bro. So that's a win-win situation right there for me, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm so stupid.
Oh, it was Hornets versus the Raptors game.
What's his numbers? Is that legit? Is that confirmed?
I'll pull it up. He 45 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
How many
you
points?
Hear me, Heck? 45 points,
Holy.
8 rebounds, 7 assists against the Raptors.
And you guys are telling me you don't want this guy. Okay.
No, he's a bum.
I understand what he did, but if he's back in the NBA, he can't be that bad.
Listen, I'll tell you this. Try to sell Julius Randle, a man who treasures his high school sweetheart, family man, Christian, who got married to her right out of high school. Tell him to have Miles Bridges, somebody who threw a battery at his baby mama, as his teammate. Julius Randle will whoop his ass in practice. Are you kidding me?
Well, maybe it'll be good for him. Maybe
Julius Randle will keep beat the shit out of him in practice.
Well, good. He's just coming off the bench. I don't give a shit. Have Randle kick his ass. I'm all for it.
Hector, that could be one of my favorite takes of yours. That's absolute genius to notice that. That was genius.
Kick his ass. I don't care. Just bring him in as a sixth man and score 40 points off the bench. I'm happy with it.
I don't know.
Nah, bro.
I get it. Listen,
you can't replace character. You can't. You just can't.
And listen, with
choke the coach. I mean, what are we talking about here?
That's still dude on dude, like fighting each other.
I understand. Business. I'm just saying some of the best trades in NBA history are guys with character issues. That's what I'm saying. Ron Artest, everybody said, oh, he's a maniac. He's a maniac. He goes to LA, wins 2 championships. Come on, man.
First of all, Ron Artest wasn't wrong. I'm sorry. I stand by that. Anybody who throws a beer at me when I'm laying down, I'm going to the stands and smacking you in the mouth too.
I agree. I love Ron Artest. One of my favorite. I wish we would have drafted him, but that's
okay.
Anywho, back to these trades.
Hey, that's a perfect thing, though, Eddie. You're saying that what Ron Artest did was not an issue. You can't say that, though, about Bridges. You cannot say that about him.
I'm going to be real with you. I don't know the whole story. I never looked into it, so I'm ignorant on it. But my point is, if he's back in the NBA, how bad can it be? Because I know these guys. I know in football, when you do something real bad, you're done. You're finished. So again, if it was that bad, I don't think he'd be playing.
That's not true. So look at Giddey. Giddey got to play the same week that it was
And
announced
Josh
that he
Giddey
was.
Josh Giddey is still playing while the investigation
Yeah,
is
he's
going
still
on.
playing.
Did he get acquitted too, or
because
some
he
shit?
paid. He had a sex
Allegedly.
with some
Let's
underage
not talk
chick.
about that. Let's not talk about that.
All right. Anyway, and a picture was posted. Like the
Let's not talk
parents
about that.
just
Let's not
didn't
talk
do
about
anything.
that. Let's not talk
Anyway,
about that.
whatever. Character doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree with Big Sauce about Karl Malone, but let's not talk about that. Anywho.
Real quick, I'm gonna end the poll. Let's see what the results are on that last poll we just had up. Let's see. We put one in there. It was, who will it be? Burks, Murray, nada, nothing. It's a wrap. 157 votes in, guys, and it looks like
Bridges.
Everybody's
Bridges.
Everybody says Murray. Where the heck did the poll go? I just ended it. Yeah, everybody said Murray. Everybody's still holding hope that Murray's happening, guys.
Who did you put in it?
Murray, Burks, and nothing.
Oh, you got to put DeRozan in there too.
Well, I said realistically happening.
Okay, I mean DeRozan. Realistic.
Nah, DeRozan's not realistically happening, Eddie.
I mean, it's on the table. But yeah, it doesn't look like Chicago's going to trade anybody. But then Woj came out and said that Philly might look to trade for Drummond. So I mean, what are they doing? Are they talking out of both sides of their mouth? I don't understand.
DeRozan's not going to be a Knick, Eddie.
I understand. I'm just saying, Woj said that they're going to trade for that. Philly is interested in trading for Drummond, and then the other side, oh, Chicago doesn't want to trade. Again, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. So
I want to ask you guys realistically, because Dominic on Twitter, shout out to Dominic DiNardo on Twitter. And if you're watching this on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, click the link in the bio. Come on over to YouTube. Join the conversation. Shout out to David Rios in the chat as well. But Dominic says in the chat, sometimes your best move is no move. So I want to ask you fellas, when it comes to that, I want to ask the chat as well. Like I said earlier, if we stay pat, if we make no move, will you guys be satisfied with that?
We make no move.
No move.
I'll be fucking fuming.
Eddie,
how do you really feel, Eddie? How do you really feel?
No, we're a good team. You guys are like, oh, well, we don't need to do anything. Sunshine and rainbows again. Oh, everything's gonna be okay. We make a move.
I forgot who I was talking to. Was I talking to Michael Caputo or Eddie? Who was I talking to just now?
Listen, you already know who I am. Let Phil answer the
Listen,
question.
David Rios with a $9.99 super chat helping us get to New York at the end of the month.
We're gonna be
Bring back Raising Alex Bobby Portis off the bench.
Listen, CM in the chat. Shout out to CM because they said it perfectly. We passed on Shea, we passed on McCall, we passed on Miles, and we passed on Michael Porter. And we also passed on Jokic when we signed and drafted Anthony early.
How about Eddie Ray saying, go get Sexton?
I would get him. Everybody says, oh, he's too small. He can fucking dunk and he can finish. I'll take him.
Listen, guys, listen, one thing none of you guys have brought up, right? And we haven't brought it up all season. None of you guys are talking about the answer for the New York Knicks. It may not be this season. It will be next season, though. And it's a guy that the New York Knicks stashed in Europe by the name of Rokas.
Rokas. He's a point guard, though, right?
He's a solid backup point guard. Eddie, don't be And Eddie,
you could do better.
Part of that group, you like to shout out the whites, Eddie.
Listen, I mean, by all means, if we get a couple of whites here, great.
Here's the thing. Rokas ain't coming here. I don't think we'll ever see a day where he's in a blue and orange jersey.
Like, he's making more money. Right, Phil?
All the rumors were that he was waiting for waiting for the right time, because he was doing well over there.
No, but this year is the last year on his contract with his Euro club. So he probably just wanted to get paid out all his money from Europe, because what people don't understand, the reason why soccer players make so much money in Europe is because of like the workers' rights and the union laws that are in Europe. That's why those athletes make more money over there, especially the soccer players, than the athletes over here in the States. So if Rokas wanted to finish out his contract with his Euro club, get his full-time benefits so he could keep his royalty rights over in Europe, I would do that too. And then he comes over to the US, he still has his royalty rights in Europe.
Yeah.
Ryan in the chat said, "Get out of here with Rokas. We're a win now program, not a development program."
He's right. He's right.
Hector said, "Let me poke the bear in the chat real quick."
He's right though. Ultimately, whatever happens with Rokas, this is no. Somebody brought him up earlier today on Twitter. I think it was State. Shout out to my guy State at the New York Knicks. He brought him up early, and I forgot. I was like, "Oh shit, we got Rokas stashed."
What up, Jay in the chat? Jay from East New York in the building. Ryan Bogart, appreciate you. Hamilton Salazar, first time seeing you in the chat. Appreciate you.
And like
my guy Jay, I love Jay. If you guys aren't following Jay on Twitter, like
facts.
One thing I love is being able to see new content creators and them being like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I just love this and I'm going to do it. And Jay is one of those guys that, like, when he started, was straight up with me. He's like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know that I enjoy talking about the Knicks, and I'm going to do it. And he started a podcast recently, and it's really, really good. And I feel like this kid's going to be a name that you guys need to continue to look out for. I feel like he is going to do some really, really cool things if he sticks with this. So shout out to my guy, Jay. I appreciate you, Jay. If you want, stage is open, bro. Feel free to come on up, talk your talk.
The Twitter streets called Jay the Rookie of the Year.
They
That's
do.
There
you go. Agent Super Argo says Alex Burke is the one who fits like a glove. Tibbs loves him, and he's a defender and instant buckets off the bench. Also shooting 39.2% from the perimeter. Again, all signs keep pointing that Burks is the one that fits and makes the most sense right now. And again, we talked about it earlier. Begley's been talking about it for weeks, man.
He's gonna be the cheapest. He's gonna be the cheapest out of all the options. He's just gonna cost you a second round pick, if that, in the trade exception. So that's all you're gonna have to give up when it comes to Alec Burks. And like he said, he fits like a perfect glove. He knows Tom Thibodeau. We can see right now that the front office and Tom Thibodeau, they are finally on the right wavelength when it comes to being coherent with each other and just knowing what move is necessary for this team. So whatever move that happens, I trust the front office. I trust Tom Thibodeau. And if it's Alec Burks, bring back MJ Burks.
Hamilton, I appreciate the nice comment, my guy. You guys are doing a fantastic job with the content. Very entertaining. Appreciate you. We like when people say, hey, these idiots do a good job.
So we are sitting at 3,394 on the.
Let's go. I set the crazy goal for 3,500, right?
If you guys can, if you're watching and not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for your boys.
Do it. I love how CP the artist said, someone buy Eddie a Ryan jersey. He is Caucasian.
Fine. I'll take that.
Eddie, when did you become the white face of Knicks fan, bro?
Shouting out the whites. It's
it's so funny. You go into a Twitter space, and that's how he starts it. They'll be like, Eddie, what are your thoughts? He's like, give it up for the whites.
Shout out to the whites. That's what it is.
We don't
shout out to our guy Billy.
Yes, we do. We need to shout out to the whites.
Shout out to Billy. No, not to the whites. Shout out to Billy. Yesterday was the funniest experience ever. Eddie was like, well, all right, I get it. Do you guys want me to shout it out to the blacks? And then he goes,
he's like, no.
Hell no, we don't, because we're not known as the blacks. Do not call us the blacks.
I'm shouting out everybody. That's it. I'm here to shout out everybody.
When it comes down to it, we appreciate you guys. Eddie is the token ginger up here on the even though he is far from being a ginger, but we still love Eddie.
I'm dropping the link in there, guys. We meant it when we said we're leaving it open panel. We're here to hang out, talk about it.
Yeah, come on.
If not, all of us are sitting there refreshing every 5 seconds, anyways, trying to see if any news is coming out. David Rios with $1.99 helping the boys get to NYC. Bones Highland and PJ would be cheap. Hit that like B.
Listen, I
First of all.
Bones Highland, and again, we have 141 people in the building. Bones Highland, that's somebody that I wanted the Knicks to trade for last trade deadline. I thought he was like the evil twin of Manuel Quickly.
Yo, listen, man. I don't think you think they would trade him though. You think LA would trade?
No. LA is if you guys haven't been paying attention, the LA Clippers are looking like a scary team in the West.
Yes.
So the LA Clippers right now, they're not going to trade anyone. Bones Highland, he's not a big part of their core, but he is a part of their bench piece. He has some value to him. So they're going to keep Bones Highland because they have no draft picks over the next several years because of the Paul George trade. When it comes down to the Clippers, they're not trading anyone at the moment. Jacob Petrucci, heck in the hood right now. I'm in Washington Heights in my car. Absolutely.
Shout out to the hood.
Eddie, stop it. Stop it. Eddie, stop it.
The best was Steve Littman in the chat saying equal opportunity shout outs.
No, okay.
The
Now,
Brunson
guys,
has
all
a
right.
good game. I'm going to shout out the Dominicans. Too, okay?
Okay, Eddie. Okay.
The Dominican coalition has already claimed Brunson.
You know, Eddie Pressey is a habitual line crosser. You will let Eddie know what the line is, but his ass is, I'm going to keep on going over it.
Push it.
Oh, you guys are ridiculous. There was one I saw, but no, go ahead, Phil. What are your thoughts on Bones Highland? Because again, that's another one that's speculated to be traded.
Yeah. So we talked about that actually last season, and we had talked about how if that wasn't the kind of player that we already had in Emmanuel Quickley, that would be the kind of player that we would want to trade for. And I honestly think that the question mark that I have obviously is he has been traded by how many teams already, so there's obviously something because it's not his game. He's a good player. It's got to be a character issue that we're hearing that he's not easy to coach, which is why he gets opportunities. Then he moves to the bench of that team and then you never see anything. So for me, it's one of those things that if he's having character issues and getting sat by other coaches that aren't as stubborn as Tibbs is, that would be a waste of a trade to bring a player like that. Because as soon as he gets mouthy, we've seen how mouthiness from young players gets treated in New York. Tibbs, screw you. You're going to be at the end of my bench, and then you're getting the hell out of here. And so I don't think
another Scam Reddish.
Yeah, I don't think Bones would last very long with us. So for me, it's kind of a waste to trade for that kind of player. But I did read something that did say he was available. I don't know how true that is, but I don't see us going for him. I don't see it actually being something that fits us very, very well in the end. So I wouldn't do it solely because I don't see him actually getting minutes as a Knick.
Maybe
that's my.
He was only traded once, Phil. Just so you know. He was traded from Denver to the Clippers. That's the only time he has been traded. And when it came to Denver, the reason why he was traded from Denver is because they didn't have a rotation spot for him, and they just wanted to clear up some cap space. That's where they got an expiring contract and a draft pick back for Bones, And look what happened. The fucking Nuggets won the championship. So they look like they made a good.
Hector,
How many minutes is Bones playing right now? How many minutes is Bones playing right now?
I don't have I can't look up anything right now. I'm on StreamYard.
But the bottom line with Bones is if they're looking to get picks, like you said, if they're looking to get, they have no picks over the next couple of years. If they can get maybe a couple of second rounders, they'll do it.
Yo, Rock in the chat says, I don't trust anyone whose mama named them Bones.
That's his nickname, though. I don't think that's his real name.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Regardless if it's is or if it's not, that comment right there.
I'm pretty sure that's his nickname. I think I looked him up on Basketball Reference one time.
Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. I'm gonna do a roll call real quick. My guy Jimmy Sorto is in the chat. Jimmy, how you doing? Salute to you. My guy Rock with the $5. The 5-star chats is in the building. Sham Gambino, how you doing? Jacob Petruzzi, my guy David Rio, CM, Nick Yat. Nick Yat says Burks isn't better than anyone in our rotation. Trade for him. Sit on the bench, or you're screwing McBride or Burks like when Burks screwed Quickly. Like I agree with what you're saying, Nick Yak. I think if they were to bring back Burks, it would to be if Miles McBride, he cannot hack it going down the grind of February going into the postseason. I think Burks, if you get Burks, he's just an emergency or insurance plan just in case any one of your guards you have on the bench can't produce offensively. I don't think Miles McBride get any minutes taken away from him. Or Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes most likely will get minutes taken away from him over Miles McBride.
That's what I was going to say. Or Quentin, he might be an insurance policy if Grimes is traded or he's hurt more than we know. What I'm saying? They bring in a Burks. Burks could kind of do what Grimes does.
And thank you, Luke, for that. Luke says Bones' real name is Nice Sean. Okay,
I know it was a nickname.
Yeah.
So, look, man, we'll see. We'll see what they're gonna do. I don't know. I hope they do something. I do, because I don't want to waste this year. And I keep saying that. I know it probably sounds like a broken record to everybody, but what Jalen Brunson's doing this year is special. It's special. What Randle was doing was great. When OG was playing, it all worked. And if you added one more piece, I really think we could compete with Denver, with Boston.
I agree. I agree with you, Eddie. Like I said earlier this morning, this right now, if there was ever a year to go all in, this is the year you go all in. Yeah. Joel Embiid, he's gonna have surgery. He ain't coming back. He's done. The Philadelphia 76ers are not going to go far in the postseason. You know what's crazy about Joel Embiid? For every postseason that he has played, you know he misses at least one game each round. Do you know that?
He's soft. I know crazy. He's soft.
I wouldn't say he's soft, right? Because you can't say somebody's soft because their body breaks down.
But he always loses.
That's not on the play. That's just because his body breaks down.
Yeah.
He needs to be.
You never saw Kobe break down.
But like I was saying, if there was ever a time for the front office to go all in, this is the year. Like I said, the 76ers, Joel Embiid, they done. They're toast for this year. You got the Milwaukee Bucks and their horrible situation that's going on with Doc Rivers right now. The Milwaukee Bucks is 1-4, right? My guy Evan Roberts on WFAN. He said that Doc Rivers lost his doctorate degree. He is no more Doc Rivers. That's Glenn Rivers going forward. So going forward, I'm calling that man Glenn Rivers going forward. But no, you look at that situation that's going on. You look at the situation that's going on, even with the Boston Celtics having the best record in the East. KP, the injury concerns with Kristaps Porzingis is coming back up. So like I said, if there was ever a time, this is the year that Leon Rose, that James Dolan, that Tom Thibodeau, you go all in. You push all your chips at the casino table. This is the moment.
I'm with you, Hector. I'm with you. And I don't want to piss away this type of year from Brunson because, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Next year is not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that everybody's healthy. You don't know what can happen from year to year. You don't know. Maybe somebody could get hurt next year. We don't know. Right? All we know is when we saw OG play and we saw Randle play and we saw Brunson play and we saw those three guys play together, this team looked damn good. Okay? Mm-hmm. So for us to when we're this close, to piss it away, I think is it bad. I think we have an opportunity to win a championship if we bring in one more guy. I think we're that close. I think the NBA is open again. And I'm with you, Hector. This is the year. Throw in the chips. Fuck it. Who cares? Because we have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose.
And shout out my guy CP, the artist in the chat, who says Bones Highland is averaging 13.2 minutes a game, 6.2 points. He's shooting 36.7 from the field and 31.3% from the three-point line. Looking at that efficiency, it's a hard pass for me when it comes to Bones Highland. He has potential though. As an upside, he's still he's still very young at the same time.
I liked him in that game versus us last year on Denver. I think he looked good. But it is what it is. We're talking about Bones Highland. Let's talk about some real players.
No, but I see everybody in the chat. They keep up bringing up Miles Bridges. And if you're the Charlotte Hornets, you stuck with that guy through everything that happened. You didn't get rid of him. You didn't cut him. You did suspend him. The NBA suspended him as well. But you still stuck with him while he's going through this situation, while he's going through the court cases, while he's dealing with that. I think when it comes down to it, the Hornets are going to just keep Miles Bridges. Who else do they have to build off of? I know that rookie they got this year,
Brandon Miller.
Miller has been phenomenal. They got LaMelo Ball. So if you got LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, you keep Miles Bridges until there's a better move out there that could get you a couple of first, if not one first-round pick for him.
Listen, man. I don't know. The Hornets, to me, they're a train wreck. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I'd rather, again, why are we talking about these guys in the Hornets? We could.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about them because somebody brought them up in the chat. Look, listen, Eddie, you're a little frustrated. You need a tickle? You good, bro?
because we're close.
Let's shout out some of the chats, see what the conversation's looking like. Rox NY said, I don't want anyone who shares a meal and locker room with LaMelo Ball. Jimmy said, Felipe Lopez, 10 days. Let's see. Johnny, I think my refresh button is broken. Heck, what's the lineup for tomorrow? For the Knicks, you mean? Or like total?
I think for the thing. For the
10-hour stream?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
We got Yanks Morning Brew in the morning, starting off at 10 o'clock. We go to rock out from 10 to 12. My guy Jake from the Bronx Zoo will be up on the show. If you guys don't know Jake from the Bronx Zoo, check him out on Instagram. He does amazing work outside of Yankee Stadium. Frank Luna will stop by. We got 2 to 3 giveaways that Frank Luna will be doing tomorrow. So we'll have a couple rubber ducky races in the morning to start things off. And then we'll have some guests as the morning goes on. Like I said, Knicks Morning Brew from 12 up until 7:30, up until the Knicks play.
Yes, sir. Amazing guest. Yes, Petruzzi. We will have Celso Nance making an appearance. We definitely will. So far, we've had 5 people that have donated $10 or higher that have been entered into the giveaway. So we still have a little bit of time while we're hanging out. 5 more of you drop a $10 super chat or $10 buy my coffee. We'll do a duck race tonight, and we're going to go ahead and give away a mug. So we'll just put that out there. Let's see. I saw Ryan Bogart. I know it doesn't mean jack shit, but for what it's worth, Sergeant Sources says we're getting Murray.
Let's get Murray. Frank Matos has it in the chat. Get Dejounte Murray. Dejounte Murray is an all-in move. You get Dejounte Murray, that's going all in. You get Alex Burks, you're getting geared up for elimination in the second round or possibly the Eastern Conference Finals. You get yourself Dejounte Murray, that is an all-in move. And at the same time, in the offseason, if Mikal Bridges becomes available from the Brooklyn Nets, you could trade them Dejounte Murray and first-round draft picks. It will make it easier for the Nets to trade with us up front.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, though, you know? Even like what John said, maybe Rose will surprise us with someone we're not hearing about, right? That's where we're at right now, where it's like, it's either Bergs, we don't know. It's, of course, all speculation, but how great is it, though, that we're literally having these conversations about one more piece to get us to the championship?
Yeah,
because
you know
that's how impactful that trade was.
You know who that player is that nobody's talking about? We're gonna get fucking OJ Mayo back from the Chinese league, and he's gonna be the savior for the New York Knicks.
He had character issues, Hector. I'll take him. Sign me up, OJ Mayo. Character issues.
You
Bring
just
him on.
love people with character issues.
Nice, I do. I might have some character issues myself. So
we know.
I can relate to these people.
I think we all know you have character.
I'm sure Theo Al knows you have some character issues.
Dropping F-bombs on WFAN. We got 170 in the building rocking with us for the last 2.5 hours. Appreciate all you. If you haven't yet, smack the like, hit the subscribe. We're setting up all kinds of crazy goals for ourselves because why the hell not? Smack the like for us.
The chain.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway for that.
Yeah.
What?
You want to do it tomorrow? Let's do the giveaway tomorrow.
Eddie the Tank.
That fucking asshole.
Listen, go ahead, Eddie. I was just about to say, because somebody pointed out to me today on Twitter that the last game that OG played, when they were going off of the court, he dapped up Frank the Tank, and people are saying Frank the Tank hurt OG.
He hurt OG,
because
bro.
OG's arm twisted when he gave him a handshake.
He's a curse, Hector. He's a curse.
It's
man.
Frank's fault. It's definitely Frank's. I know we touched on
He's
it.
a big Nets fan, fellas, and then he's a Knicks fan.
I know.
Bill,
well, we can expect a lot of Nets fans to be Knicks fans here soon enough.
Listen,
I know we've talked about.
I appreciate Frank the Tank. All right, I appreciate that.
Frank.
I appreciate my fat king. All right, leave him alone. Thank you.
I like Frank too.
Who wants to take this one? I know we touched on it a little bit earlier in the show, but Petruzzi was a late comer. But he said, "What are your thoughts on Brogdon?"
Listen, when it comes to Phil's favorite player in the NBA, Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon, like I said, solid vet, 6th man of the year, was with the Boston Celtics last year. If we're going to get any inside scoop on the Boston Celtics or any weaknesses that they have, Malcolm Brogdon will be the perfect person to give us any inside source. I'm not sure if he's the type of character that would do it, but realistically, I'm not too sure. Malcolm Brogdon came out over the past, I think, week or whatever and said how he enjoys being in Portland. He enjoys being a vet for those young kids. So maybe he doesn't want to go through that grind of the postseason. He's happy making his $22 million coming off of the bench. Chauncey Billups really values him and his presence in the locker room. So maybe Malcolm Brogdon could see himself being a coach on Chauncey Billups' staff in the next few years. He likes the situation in Portland. So if he doesn't want to leave his situation, Portland's not going to just go out there and just try to trade him.
Why does everybody like Portland so much? I don't get it. I mean, I've never been there, but
it's
the
legalized marijuana. That's why, Eddie. Are you
kidding? It's legalized across the country. What are you talking about?
They like it because
it's really legalized over there.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't get the draw to Portland. I mean, especially
in Portland, it has like beautiful weather year round, not that much snow. It's not as cold as New York, but it's not as hot as like the West Coast in California. So
okay, all right.
It's a hip place. It's got like really good food, really good, like culture. So if you are, living there, it's a cool spot because there's, good nightlife. It's kind of like a hipster's dream to live out there.
Somebody called it.
Whoa. What's up with hipsters? You got it with hipsters?
Oh my gosh. What, do you live in Williamsburg now?
I'm just saying, is there an issue with, you feel me? Memphis cool.
What?
Okay, Heisenberg.
Anywho.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'm so confused.
Oh God.
We good?
I think we're good.
Right. I was talking. I was muted like an idiot.
Oh, you were muted the entire time. That's what it was. I was like, his mouth is moving.
I was muted. I was like, I don't know what happened with this show. Hector's in a mood tonight. He said, "What's wrong with meth? You got a problem." Terms and conditions. We do not encourage meth, ladies and gentlemen. We do not.
Say my name.
I saw another one in here. Where was it? Somebody was asking. We'll toss it over to you, Phil. But it looks like someone was asking about thoughts on, I think it was Gene Fitzmagic. I saw him in there. Thoughts on Bruce Brown. I know we touched on this a little bit on this morning's episode. Go ahead, Phil.
I like Bruce Brown. I do. On that Denver team, he was an integral part of that team when they won. But there is no reason to add Bruce Brown when you have a Josh Hart. Bruce Brown is not a knockdown scorer. He is not a knockdown facilitator. Like, those are not his strengths. His strengths are that he's like a Swiss Army knife, that he can do a little bit of everything. He's the kind of guy that you add to a championship team to make you that much better than everybody else. He's not the guy that you add to be a championship contending team. Like, he's not that guy. He's not going to take us to that next spot. If we didn't have Josh Hart, hell yeah, bring in Bruce Brown. But we have Josh Hart. And my problem with Josh Hart is that Josh Hart is a glue guy, a hard worker, grabs amazing rebounds, can drive to the paint, which is what we need him to do. But with those kind of players, as soon as they stop playing to their strengths and try to do other things, it shows that they can be a hindrance to winning more so than they can to addition to winning. So when Josh Hart forgets the fact that he's not a sharpshooter from three and starts shooting nonstop threes and goes 1 for 10 from three, that costs us a game. That doesn't help us win a game. So I don't want to add a player like that. And he fell off a little bit from Denver to Indiana to the point that Indiana sought him out like a jewel. They wanted him bad this offseason. And so they went out and they got him. And we saw that he wasn't able to do the same thing there that he did in Denver, which makes you go, okay, is it Indiana that was the issue? Or was it the fact that he was playing with an MVP caliber player in Jokic that he didn't need to do any of those other things that he would have needed to do in Indiana to be successful. Like, he was playing with a star-studded team already. So Bruce Brown, great player, not a good fit for us. I think we need to ignore that. And second, I wore this actually for you two right there. All right. I don't want LeBron. All right. And the same reason I don't want Mr. LeBron James is the same reason I don't want a Bruce Brown. I don't want a player who looked at us and said, nah, I'd rather go somewhere else. And then sees what we've become and has been like, oh yeah, I would love to play for New York. You can't, within 6 months, Bruce Brown was like, that's cool. I took the call, but I'd rather go with Indiana.
No.
And then now he wants to come to New York? Nah, miss me with that.
What's alarming to me, and it should be alarming to most people, I'll throw it over to you, Eddie, right after this, is the fact that, like Phil said, he was signed by Indiana this offseason, and that same team that signed him in the offseason was quick to trade him, not even at the trade deadline, but before the trade deadline. And Jacob, no, I'm in a parking lot, right? I pay for parking where I live at because I'm bougie. So I'm in a parking lot. I don't got to worry about nobody coming up to my window and knocking on it. Go ahead, Eddie.
I'll say this about Bruce Brown. Indiana had cap space, which we did not. Okay, Indiana paid him, guaranteed him $42 million over 2 years. And we didn't have that type of money. That's why we had the mid-level exception. That's why we signed Dante DiVincenzo. But again, if it comes to 2:59 p.m. tomorrow, and I don't have Malcolm Brogdon, I don't have Dejounte Murray, I don't have DeMar DeRozan, or I don't have Mikal Bridges, if I don't even have Alec Burks, I'll tell you what, I'll take Bruce Brown on this team because he's a guy that comes here. He's $20 million this year, $20 million next year. If you have to move him in a trade, so be it. He becomes trade fodder, and he's better trade fodder than Evan Fournier, so you can let Evan go, let his money expire, and then if a trade presents itself this summer, you put his $20 million into it, and you say, thank you for your time, Bruce Brown. But again, to me, he's a talent. He's a guy that played on a championship team. So if it comes to tomorrow at 2:59 and we have nobody else, and Bruce Brown's on the table, I'll take him on this team. I will.
Oh, yeah. Last resort is last resort.
Folks, we got over 150 people still rocking with us. We are sitting at 3,396 subscribers, 4 subscribers away from 3,400. 4 subscribers away. If you're watching us, if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as we move the conversation as we're going forward. I want to shout out the chat real quick because we're going to wrap things up momentarily. Shout out my guy Damian Serrano, who is in the building. Jimmy Sorto, who's been rocking out. Sutter Prince is in the building. Appreciate you. Big Sauce 911. Regardless of what happens at the trade deadline, I'm going to keep on beating the same drum. Knicks fans, let's take a victory lap right now. We're in the middle of the season. We should take a victory lap because the team we have right now is not the team that we suffered with over all those years ago. It's not the same team. It's not the same front office. We have a front office and we have a head coach that is on the same wavelength. They are thinking together. They are talking together. They are getting things done from the front office down to the assistant coaches. Everybody is clicking on the same wavelength. When it comes to our team, when it comes to our rosters, we have rosters of guys that show up that are the pure representation of New Yorkers and what it means to be a New Yorker. If you're a New Yorker, if you grew up in the 5 boroughs, if you're from New York City, if you grew up in the 5 boroughs, having to take the train every day to work, 45 minutes taking the train into Manhattan, having to stop off at the bodega to grab your cup of coffee, your bacon, egg, and cheese, your bagel with cream cheese and jelly, whatever you had to do as a hardworking, grit-grinding New Yorker, this team represents you, and it starts with Jalen Brunson, and it goes to Julius Randle, and it goes to everyone else on the roster.
Facts.
Couple things before we wrap up, guys. First, in the chat, I saw somebody, Luke Rapp. Is it not worth watching in here? He means over on X. it's worth watching everywhere, but the chat is lit over here on YouTube. You like how I did that? Shameless plug alert. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Monarch Smart TV, appreciate you. I need a new Smart TV. Appreciate you hanging out. Nick Yak, you've been blowing it up all night. Damian Serrano, Mario 13. So, guys, before we wrap up, again, tomorrow, kicking off 10 a.m. Eastern, first thing in the morning, Yankees fans, Brew Crew chat fam, come through, giveaways, all kinds of stuff. Bring your wallets, bring your energy. Get ready to help us raise the money to make these events happen. And then a whole afternoon of Knicks trade deadline content. I'm going to tell you right now, this eve of the trade deadline has been boring as shit. I've refreshed for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we've had zero, period, to report on. Hopefully tomorrow is way better. Phil, any last words before we bounce? Oh, hey, Super Prince. Appreciate the subscribe, bro. Thank you.
Are we up to 3,400 yet?
We are still 4 array. Let me double check. Yeah, we are still 3,390.
Oh, my God.
It's all right. Look, I said the goal was 3,500 by Saturday. I'm not, shooting for the stars or nothing. Yeah, we should get extra likes just for your blazer. Jimmy Sardo agrees. Go ahead, Phil. Last words before we bounce.
Yeah, no, I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. This is not our normal thing, just randomly going live. So we appreciate you guys so much. Appreciate everybody on Knicks Twitter that came in. A lot of people that, I chop it up with on Knicks Twitter that I haven't seen in this, chat that actually came out. So shout out to, Mario specifically, that's one of the OGs that, I've been hearing give takes for, over a year and a half. So appreciate Mario coming through. Appreciate everyone that has supported, everyone that gave a coffee or a super chat. Like, thank you guys. Seriously. Like, I don't know, what we would do without people like you guys that actually believe in what we're doing, that actually keeps us, going with this every day. Shout out to my guy, CP, the artist. CP, bro, I am so broken. Like, I wanted to have a CP exclusive release tomorrow that we shared with our audience. We're still working on, gathering the funds because you're worth your dues, bro. You're worth, every single penny that you charge, and we want to give it to you. So I would never even ask for anything different. So shout out to all of you guys. We are going to make these events happen. Look tomorrow. All I want to say is I've been talking to my guy Tony via text throughout this whole thing. So look out for Tony in the chat tomorrow. He will be coming up also. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm honestly looking forward to starting it off strong at 12 o'clock with the Knicks with my guy Sky Zoo. That's my guy, so I'm stoked to do that. Appreciate you guys all.
Can I take my lunch break at that time when you're with Sky Zoo? Could I take a lunch break?
Yeah, no.
I ain't gonna give anybody time to talk. Anyway,
hold on, Phil, real quick. Super Prince says, "Do you guys take calls? If so, I'm in." So we do open panel here. We've dropped it in the link. All episode long, we do allow anybody to come up, talk, hang out, speak your piece. Tomorrow, the line will be open all day long, starting from 10 a.m. till we're done. And guys, just because we stop at 7:30 doesn't mean the fun stops. We're working on a couple things. We'll let everybody know for sure, but we might even switch right into a playback for the Knicks game to hang out with everybody. Then there, Phil and Hector didn't even know. I just told them this dude asking for a lunch break. I just added 3 hours.
Word. Well, I got me my food for tomorrow. I went out to go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Also, Super Prince. I know some people get like intimidated because they're like, hey, we can't put on our cameras or we don't feel comfortable in front of the camera.
We don't care.
We don't care. You don't have to even be in front of the camera. We just say, hey, to make sure you're not a bot, just turn on your camera, give us the thumbs up. You could turn it off after that and just give your take. We want to hear from you guys. That's why we do this. We want to hear and connect with the community. So thank you guys all. If you guys can, please go to the Brew Crew Sports _ Twitter and repost. The more people we can get in here tomorrow hanging out, the more fun it's going to be. Especially because we have to be in and out of this. Well, they'll be on the whole time. Me, since I have my kids as an excuse, I'll be in and out of it throughout the whole day. But we need things to talk about. So the more people that are in there, the greater the conversation is going to be. We want it to be like a round table kind of conversation. Pull up with a coffee. Later on, as the day gets later, pull up with a drink, pull up with a cocktail, whatever. Let's just talk Knicks. Retweet, invite your friends. Tell them to come to the channel and let's build this community.
And
Before we
whatever
wrap-
you do, tag Ben Stiller.
Yeah, we want Ben, damn it. Ben, you're going to be on the show, damn it, Eddie. Before we go, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, there's still Knicks talk, 12 o'clock midnight. Our boy Eddie Presti, King Deej kicking it off with the Knicks night.
Nick at night.
Nick at night. I always mess up. Eddie, last words before we go, my guy.
Make a fucking trade.
Hey, that's the way to
One
end it right
subscriber
there.
away. We are at
One.
3,399 subscribers.
Okay, hold on. We're going to see.
Mario,
Keep refreshing. We're going to wait right here for that one subscriber.
There we go. We got it. We had
3,400.
3,400.
Let's go. The goal is 100 new ones tomorrow to hit 35. Guys, thank you all for rocking with us. It's been a great almost 3 hours. We will see everybody tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. And on that note, deuces.
Deuces.